Welcome back to The District. This is The District Podcast. We are episode 4. Wow, shit. And it is myself. I am here. I am guy number 1, not anywhere near important. I am the dude now covered in
Not the moderator.
Yeah. I am the moderator / covered in Mark II oil, VR oil guy. I'm literally disgusting and feel gross. But we have a very special episode today again, because we have, of course, Mr.
Josh, I like cats.
Yeah, resident fucking cat guy. Bart is already sleeping next to him.
Bart is, dude, he's just chilling over here. This is the best thing ever. He's just
into a cat.
He's basking in the sunlight, and like he's just got his little paws up against my leg. It's a vibe, dude. I needed this.
Josh's energy increases the more he hangs out with cats. Which is amazing.
I heal.
Yeah, exactly.
I heal.
Yeah. And then, of course, Josh, being the co-host of the District, has brought us an amazing guest that we get to. I've met before, hung out before. I think last time we hung out, I got to try bush apple for the first time. That was quite some time ago.
Yeah.
Changed my life about bush. Could you please introduce yourself to them?
Yeah, I'm Corey Fogle. I've been around the car scene in the Northern Virginia area for a long time. Kind of met Josh through the scene. Met you through the scene as well.
Yeah.
So
You guys met at Beach Bash.
I think so.
If I'm not mistaken. Like
Yeah.
the first Beach Bash we all went to, like 2021.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was right after.
We had like a little house party.
Yeah,
because we could. You guys, we figured out this is when New Concepts was still, thriving, and you guys were like down the street from us. Like we could like walk.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say down the street. That was a long walk.
It was.
We were drunk.
But the house we had bikes that we could use, and we ended up like commandeering those bikes and like drunkenly rode down to.
I think our longboard
kind of just combined forces.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. Because we brought our longboards over, and I was, dude. Man, I am surprised I actually made it back and forth from that area. That was insane.
And I was just saying, it's worth noting, Corey is for anybody that's watched previous episodes, like I've probably made a reference to Corey like in every episode because he was the we started talking about doing guests. He was the first person that jumped to mind as like he would be the perfect person to have as a guest.
Yeah.
Just because of like his knowledge and his footprint in the car scene and like what he brings to the table. Like he can probably learn us.
Yeah.
He can learn us real good on a lot of
My head's
things.
not going to fit in this room by the time I leave. You're giving me too much credit.
Obviously, Corey and I have been friends for a long time. I'd like to think I've learned a lot of things from him, especially with like my truck, for example.
Yeah.
I actually bought that truck. It was his friend. And he was like,
Brian.
hey, my buddy Brian is selling this truck.
Yeah.
So like I wouldn't have even known about that truck if not for Corey. And like a lot of the stuff that I've done to it and a lot of the just general know-how with like a Slam single cab truck.
Yeah.
I learned from him. So.
It was such a cool truck too.
I learned how to fix a...
It's for sale.
Is it really?
It's really for sale, yeah. 100%.
Hey, babe. Hey, remember how we needed a truck? You want a Ford Flex?
No.
It's going to be on air.
I mean, still no. I'm already buying a vehicle as early as next week.
Okay,
so,
you know what? Fuck you, Josh.
I just need I need something more practical with real ground clearance that isn't two-wheel drive, that doesn't wake my neighbors and get the police called on me every morning.
Ford Flex, dog? What are you talking
It's
about?
got air ride. He'll take offense to it. Yeah. He doesn't like that.
No, I already have my next vehicle picked out.
I know. And you won't tell us.
I mean, I will. I don't care.
Enough about you, okay?
Yeah, I don't want to. Yeah, say if we have
about
time, I'll tangent to that later. But I want to get into the meat and potatoes with Corey.
Corey, you've been part of the Northern Virginia car like scene community for a long time, right? Like probably, I would say almost in the beginning of the modern era. You know what I mean? Of like car culture, like I think like the Fast and Furious era is probably like the beginning of the quote unquote modern car culture. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so you've been, for lack of a better word, hot rodding since then. Why don't you give us a little bit of backstory about how it all started off for you?
Yeah. No, and to kind of full circle, I've been in probably every car scene there is. We can go into that later, but I've had every kind of car, I guess, or truck.
You dipped your toes in a little bit of everything.
I'm not like brand specific. I'm not loyal to anything, but I like what I like. But I would say, coming up in this area, we spoke about it a little bit earlier before we started. There was a huge scene already here, like from that previous era. We were talking about Jerry's Pizza. Back in the day, that was like the pre-BK, those giant meets. You had all of those guys that were coming from Maryland. I know you talked about Maryland cars in your previous podcast.
Yeah.
Tons of heavy hitters. Like you talk about the 90s going into the early 2000s. But that specific area at that car meet, they would have national magazines that would come shoot. Just to cruise it on a Saturday night. You'd have Hot Rod Magazine, Carcraft. I mean, you had 500-600 cars, and 50% of them were $100,000+ build cars. Like the heaviest hitters of the like street rod, muscle car era would show up there. And then that kind of phased out, and then BK happened, right? But then you still saw that kind of transition into your blend of hot rods, muscle cars, mini trucks started showing up. Then you had Friday nights was kind of the import scene.
That's where I kind of started in with BK. Friday nights was because I was very much a big import kid.
Yeah.
So
and like in the mini truck world, you kind of didn't fit in any of those buckets. So it was like, all right, I'll go Friday night and see what this is about and hang out with those guys. And they were all kids like my age. So that's kind of how it started. I met most of these guys that way. And then, fast forward a few years, it was just a blend of everybody when you would go on a Saturday night. And I can remember cruising up there with my dad, and if you weren't in the parking lot by 5 o'clock, you were down the road. Yeah. It was cool, right? It was a very incredible time in this area for cars. And I feel like we need that back. It's kind of gone away a little bit. It's kind of turned more into cars and coffee more than anything. But yeah, we need like a Saturday night hangout.
I think the issue with like evening meets now is evening meets just seemingly bring out a lot of
degeneracy.
Yeah. For lack of better words, like I'm going to an evening. We were talking about before we started recording. I'm going to an evening meet tonight. I haven't, other than like the S chassis meets in Chantilly, which is very very small, close knit. I haven't really done like an evening thing in years. Yeah. So I'm kind of going in with no real expectation, but it is run by Danny and Capital Mischief, so like he's a good dude, and like obviously he was on the last podcast and he actually puts forth effort to making these things cool. But yeah, I mean, evening meets have kind of just, at least in this area, have kind of just been like lost to time because of, like you said, degeneracy. You got a lot of people that just seemingly show up that just don't know how to act during like when the lights go down for some reason, versus like Cars and Coffee. It's like the same people can be there, but they just know how to be adults and human beings. I don't know. I don't know if it's like this, like it's like the movie Gremlins when they get wet and they just turn in. It's like the sun goes down and everybody's just like time to just do burnouts and crash. I don't get it. But
I think there's a lot of attention. I think a lot of attention grabbing or like the spotlight grabbing that I guess that kids are trying to get to. Everybody wants to be the the younger generation wants to be like this like influencer type thing, and so whatever attention can get to them, that'll increase follower count.
It's the social media paradox, which I know we won't go super far into that because we've spent a lot of time on that in previous episodes. But yeah, I mean that's one of the biggest things that's really changed car culture as a whole, is just everybody wanting to get their 10 seconds of fame, and they don't really care how they're going to do it.
I think it's important to talk about because it is kind of molding the next generation of individuals into cars. But I see a lot of it is folks that are in it for the wrong reason. I'm not one to say I should be a gatekeeper. Anyone should be a gatekeeper. I think if you have a car and you want to come out to a show or a meet and you want to show it off, do it. Yeah. I don't care if you come to a car show and you have a bone stock car, right? Yeah. Be proud of it. Just don't be an asshole.
Yeah.
Right? That's
it. Well said.
I think so I think what changed, and I'm sorry for beating on this, but I think what changed was like instead of being a communal event, it was more like, what can it do? What if I go to this event? What will it do for me?
Personal gain.
So, personal gain. Yeah. And so like there's a lot of incentives to being an asshole and having a spotlight on you, right? The first one could be financial incentive, right? Because like if you slap your Instagram handle on the side of your car, doing donuts in a thing or whatever, and kids are like, damn, that's crazy. I bet that kid does more crazy shit. Now you have a follower count. then you keep going up and up and up. You need to get arrested, and they're like, "Oh, free this man." You know what I mean? It's just like a weird
Whistling Diesel.
Yeah, whistling. Yeah, exactly. And so it's like it's weird. It's almost like getting a lot of negative attention, which is proven psychologically through social media, makes more people follow that particular person.
Yeah,
virality. Virality.
They chase virality,
and then it increases their incentive to make money. And now they don't have to have like a. I'm not going to say it's not like a position or a job that is like I don't know. It sounds because I feel like if your job is content creation and whatnot, that's totally fine. You know what I mean? I have nothing against that. But it's like you can't throw like if everybody like in the cybersecurity world right now, all those people went to school for cybersecurity because they said that we needed that 10 years ago. Now there's no jobs in cybersecurity. If everybody wants to be an Instagram influencer right now, like then who's watching?
Oversaturation.
Exactly.
We talked about oversaturation.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like if everybody wants to do that one thing is no longer really niche and cool anymore.
Right, exactly. And
I just feel like we made the wrong people famous.
Oh,
that's how I feel about it. Maybe that's my boomer hot take, but we made the wrong people famous.
And to be fair, there are, I don't have anything against like quote unquote influencers per se. There's a lot of people that, we would look at as being influencers that I genuinely like. I know I've talked about them before on this channel. I'll continue to, to kind of dick ride them a little bit, so to speak. But like Vinanatra, love his content. Yeah. Brian Scotto, love his content. Like there's a lot, like, dude, Hurt and T-Pain on Nappy Boy Automotive, like talk about a power duo of two people that just have such an organic, like, like chemistry and connection of just making cool content, making you laugh. It's very wholesome. Like, so I'm not against influencers, but all these guys, the stuff that they're doing is actual quality content. They're not doing things that are like endangering people's lives. It's very like educational. It's very well thought out. Like they take it very seriously. And like people that choose to do that, I think that's great. The people, to your point of I'm going to go slap an Instagram sticker on my car, I'm going to do donuts at an intersection, like purposely get in trouble and use it as a means to like boost my reach and boost, virality. That's the full circle moment going back to what Corey said of people doing it for the wrong reason.
Yeah. I mean, like
they're not car people, they're attention people.
How is it that how was your, and I'm not trying to show your age, because
I'm the same age as Josh, just so
we're old.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because you were at the BK meets too.
Yeah.
My uncle is like, wait, so my uncle is y'all's shit.
He's a little bit older than us.
I'll be 39 next month.
Okay, he's like motherfucker like 45 or something like that. I don't know. But anyways, how was the he old. he just built
age is just a number.
He just
built just a number.
He built an E46 in his garage, like manual swapped an E46 in his garage, and like the dude's just been like, I haven't seen him work that hard and diligently on a car since he was young, and he like texted me at like 11 o'clock. He's like, bro, this shit sucks when you get old, and I'm like,
how's he doing, by the way? Because he was originally going to be our first guest.
Yeah.
But his dog passed the day before.
Bane. Yeah.
And like, needless to say, he wasn't in like a mental. Obviously, like that's You're not like, let me go report a podcast the next day.
And he's got 2 kids, and he was like, he's trying to finish this project. He bought an E46, 2 E46s for cheap, and pulled them.
Kind of like Frankenstein them together.
Yeah, he made an automatic one manual because he bought a clean chassis, and the other one had anyways. And so he was supposed to come visit us, and unfortunately, like, he's just been slammed. But you'll be my. I wanted to save all of my questions for him on like the BK, like I call it the BK era because that's when he like had his stories about it. But how was the car culture back then compared to now? Like what were like the major differences in like either quality of people or events and whatnot?
I would say a lot of it was more centered around the people than the cars. Like that's what it was, right? And kind of rewind a little bit to like what I was talking about, the Jerry's meet. You've had degenerates in every area, or in every era rather. That Jerry's meet got shut down because somebody did a burnout the whole length of the shopping center when they were there, like covering it for a magazine. Shut it down. Like never again it happened. So it happens. Yeah. But that meet, the BK meet, all the ones past that I've ever attended, I was more excited to go see my buddies, right? Let's go hang out. Let's catch up. Even your folks that you haven't seen in a while, right? Haven't been out to a meet in a month. You go see your friends and what they've done to their cars and just catch up. That was like your relief from your week, right?
Yeah.
You've had a pretty shitty week at work. You all hang out and it's like, oh yeah, I got this done this week. I did that. That's kind of what I miss, is that like camaraderie. Yeah. That was it.
Yeah.
And I think that's really what has kept me in the muscle car world or street rod world, whatever you want to call it now, is those guys are really like that. I mean, you go to these big national events and I see friends from home and we just go hang out, right? I see friends from out of state that I haven't seen in forever. That's where the internet's good.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You know, I totally believe in meet your internet friends. Like, I think that's cool. I've met a lot of great people through it.
RP H2O.
Yeah.
That was always like my big like meet your internet friends like extravaganza every year.
Absolutely. And that's another like era, you know, in my little bucket that I miss.
Yeah.
You know, that was a time,
fellow
man.
H2O
man.
veteran.
I was
many
the guy
memories.
in about every kind of car you can think of.
It's true. You brought all sorts of different stuff.
I've had cam Corvettes. I had, you know, stanced cars,
the
old
IS
cars.
Yeah.
Just about everything. You know, I never really tried to fit into a bucket. I just loved hanging out with people and wanted to connect.
Yeah.
You know, that's it. And I think that's how I perceived the car culture then, was, you know, just that camaraderie. I would say the most exciting part about it was, you know, this started when I was in high school. I would call a handful of my friends and say, all right, we're meeting at the car wash. There was a local car wash in Old Town Manassas, and we would all meet there. Everyone would wash their cars or trucks, and then we would all cruise together over to BK. And it was like 10 miles, but it was rad. You get to cruise with like 15 of your best friends, and then they would be like, hey, I'm going to call so-and-so. Can they join? And then that group just kept getting bigger and bigger. And like, I would say 90% of those guys I still talk to, which is pretty rad.
Hell yeah. And it's like, it's weird to see the transition of like what it like biggest, I think, event to that. It's almost like an era within an era, is the Chick-fil-A meets.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Dude, I miss the Chick-fil-A meets so much.
Like on a Friday night, because I mean, I was still doing the Chick-fil-A meets even after I met Erica. Yeah. And even Erica likes cars, but like she's not like a super big, like she's not trying to go, you know, build a car herself or whatever. She enjoys going out and seeing cool cars, and I think has more of an eye for cars than some, you know, women or whatever. But Friday nights, like if we had nothing going on, like Erica would always be down to go to Chick-fil-A because she knew it was gonna be a good time. Like we knew there were gonna be, like, you don't even have to send a beacon out to your friends. Yeah. Like you just knew that if other like-minded people didn't have something going on Friday night, that they were probably just going to go to Chick-fil-A. And then for a while, like down the street from Chick-fil-A, there was the Green Turtle, and then there was Red Robin. So like a lot of us, we would go to Chick-fil-A, and you'd kind of like build up your group once you got there. Like, oh hey, like such here. Oh hey, look who just pulled in, and like. You know, you'd hang out for a couple hours, and then, hey, let's go down the street, let's grab a burger, let's grab a beer. And that was just such a good, like, it was the Friday night thing that always was there for you, even if you didn't need it. And like you could always fall back on it in the, you know, in the warmer months. And I miss that.
Every single car was there. Like every type.
There's always a
car
good
was
blend.
there. Yeah, it was
very good blend.
I think it was like the evening version of Katie's, because you would see like these crazy
That's a
exotic
great comparison,
right?
Yes.
It was like it was Katie's before that happened, right?
Yeah.
You'd be there and you're like, holy shit, that's a McLaren that just pulled in. And you know, for guys like us, you know, I'm in a $1,500 mini truck, and I'm like, this is like unattainable. But how sick is that? I'm parked next to this guy, right? But it's crazy to see how that's evolved, and I think to put a bow on it, that's kind of where I think we all still live as a group, right? Is I don't have to go to a car meet to hang out with my car friends. Let's just go have dinner. Right, we'll drive all of our cool cars to dinner.
Let's
do
a
hang
podcast.
out in the parking
lot, right?
Yeah,
let's do a podcast.
We've just changed venues. That's all.
Yeah,
exactly.
And I think that we were talking about that before. Like all of our car friends from back in the day just ended up becoming like our homies. And and then we just so happened to go. Let's say, I mean, the one big difference between my normie friends and like my car friends is that
normie friends.
is that my normie friends will just be like, all right, so whose car are we taking? And then it's like my car friends are like, all right, we're all mobbing.
We're all driving.
We're all driving.
We're all driving together. There's 10 of us, and we'll take 10 cars. Let's
exactly.
But I think when you blend all of it together, it's incredible. Like I've seen my friends grow families, get married, buy houses, start their lives.
Careers,
all because I
fun
met
stuff.
somebody in a parking lot. You know,
Yeah.
it's wild to think of.
No shit. That's how I met a lot of my friends. That's crazy. And I don't want to always paint like I don't want to always paint the new car culture as like, you know, a terrible thing, because I feel like it could change. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just don't think that there's a sense of direction in I guess for kids, like it's not. Maybe there isn't. Maybe we're not incentivizing like or not bringing a lot of light of how things used to be to like the younger generation. Because for me, it was Vortex, right? Like UW Vortex was like the place to go to find out where car meets and stuff like that were in the Northern
VA
Virginia.
driven.
VA driven,
dude. Holy shit!
Yeah,
I walked down
was
memory lane the other night because I was like, man, I know we're going to talk about some stuff on this podcast, but like,
Yeah.
I was the old car head in VA driven. But it's funny, I met Kevin.
I was going to say, I was literally going to say,
I met him at a meet, and he was like, yeah, I forget what I think. I can't remember his screen name, but he was like, oh, I'm so-and-so on VA Driven. I was like, no shit, dude. I've seen you on there.
Yeah.
Like, how wild is that?
I met Kamo through Kamo's the guy, you know Kevin Morris. That's the guy I was talking about. His girl's doing the kitten fostering. Anyways, I met Kamo at a cruise. It was a VA-driven cruise. It was like put together on the forum, and it was a bunch of people meeting, like a bunch of Northern Virginia people meeting at GMU to cruise together, like a big, you know, facilitated cruise up to College Park Tuning. I used to go to College Park Tuning every year. That was like a big, larger than life meet back in like this is around like 2008, I think it was. But yeah, I met. Kamo had his. He had that crazy like slammed boosted Mercury Cougar.
It was a 99 Cougar.
99 Cougar. Like the forgotten about.
What?
Yeah.
One of the fastest cars I've ever ridden.
Like the very like bulbous. Yeah. And dude, he had like I think it was like a Roush or something the front bumper that like sat like this far off the ground. It was like hammered on, had like wheels and it was boosted. And I remember I had seen him like around on the forums, but I'd never actually met him. And after that cruise, he and I actually like met like in person and became friends. So that was like 2008. That's literally how I met Kamo, was through VA Driven. And I'm friends with him.
sick.
I literally was texting him yesterday about adopting some kittens. And, like, we're still
And all the
friends to
dots
this day.
connected, right? So
All the dots connected.
I've been friends with Kevin forever because of that scene, and that's kind of how we all got
the third
intertwined.
degree.
It's incredible.
I love that, dude.
And you guys should have Kevin on here too. That you want to talk about a wealth of knowledge?
Yeah.
He's like Rain Man when it comes to anything mechanical.
That's the kind of people
He's a smart
we need.
dude.
Yeah.
I think like, well, I'm glad we touched up on like the old Northern Virginia car culture, and I think like it's something that we talk a lot about, and at some point I'd like to like. The problem is like everybody's so busy, but I'd like to start hosting events like that again.
Yeah.
And trying to bring back that culture, but the problem is like, how do I not allow, or how do I decide who should be in a group or an event or whatever, and then kind of filter out like the good and the bad.
It's have to monitor it. That's I don't know how else to do it, man. It's like, do you guys remember the mega meets they used to do off
Mission
95?
Mega Meets.
Yeah. Those things were huge.
Yeah.
But when you came in, they paid a cop to sit there.
Yep.
And actually we did. Everybody gave them $1 that they came in there. But that cop made $500 or $600 sitting there.
Yeah.
And it was packed. Like I miss those.
Yeah.
Like that's where you would go after Burger King. We would all meet and
Yeah.
then cruise down the Parkway to 95.
So much fun again too, and like I think that back then, and this is probably a speculation, but like more folks were able to just like walk around and talk about their cars and shit like that more than it is now, where people are just hanging out at their cars.
You gotta. It's you notice a lot of car shows, car meets, whatever. It's people are just kind of they band together with their like little bubble, and they just you know what I mean, and like they don't really go out and attempt to kind of
talk to other people,
mesh with other people. It's like you got like this group, like you got like the Oni Camber Hot Boy stance guys, and then you got like the super JDM guys, and you got like the really like high tier, like high caliber car show guys, and like everybody kind of stays in their own little bubble.
Yeah,
that's why for years I was always a salmon swimming upstream, where I was always very abrasive and like against joining a car club, because I didn't want to get lumped into a bubble, because I was always that guy where I liked kind of going and talking to everybody. Sure. And eventually, I realized like with exclusive, like these are my homies, this is like my family. I'm just gonna I'm gonna own that.
Yeah.
But yeah, you see that a lot. I go to a lot of car things, and I think, I don't know what's caused that. I don't know if I would directly attribute that to social media, but it just seems like back in the day, like when Corey and I were, like, for example, going to BK, like everybody walked around and wanted to talk to everybody, whereas now it's a lot of it's just a lot more closed off. Like you got this group, this group, this group, this group, and they don't like intermingle very much like they used to.
Benefit of the doubt.
It's social media, like you said.
Yeah.
Folks are so used to,
Like they don't know how to talk in real life.
They can't.
That's exactly
Because
what
they're
I
like,
was
I
I
can't
have
talk to them
teenage
through a
kids.
screen.
You know how hard it is to sit and engage in a conversation with a 17-year-old kid? It's
Yeah.
tough. Like
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine them in a parking lot with
whole bunch of
hundreds of other people.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, yeah, talking to somebody
So-
through, like, not face to face through a screen
Yeah.
versus talking to somebody face to face is obviously very
Yeah.
different. And maybe we've just, as a society, we've kind of like a lot of
Siloing
like,
ourselves?
We've, yeah,
Like,
we've
you know what I
like
mean?
inadvertently lost the ability to have like face to face,
Yeah.
like engaging conversations because we're so accustomed to like the comfort of just doing it through a screen and not having to make eye contact and not having to be present in the moment. I'll respond when I can.
Yeah.
There's a lot to be said about that.
I think sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, I think the biggest divide there between how we came up in that is we came up in an era prior to the internet or
We did.
social media, right?
Yeah.
We saw the introduction of it, and as it came up, we saw it as a tool,
Yeah.
right? And we still use it, right? I scroll through Instagram probably more than anybody here, and
Doom scroll
I
supreme.
do. But we utilize that as a tool, whereas now I feel like it's the only means of contact for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And
Very true.
It's tough, and that's, I think, the divide in the generation. And you have to, you'll find pockets of, the newer car culture that really do want to learn. They want to get out and experience what that is like.
Yeah.
But it's far and few in between. Right?
Yeah.
We need to figure out how to bridge those two together and make it what it was. I don't think it will be. I don't think we're going to.
It'll never be the
how it
same.
was. Yeah.
And I mean, I think that's just something we have to accept. But to your point, figuring out how to bridge it and how to make it kind of the passing of the torch. We're not necessarily exiting the car scene, but we want to make it. You do at some point. You kind of want the passing of the torch to the younger generation because we're only going to do this but for so long. I mean, hopefully as long. I plan to do stupid stuff with cars. Until I just physically can't anymore.
Same.
But you want to cultivate an environment that's welcoming to younger enthusiasts so they can pick it up, keep going. We still want, like, I know SEMA does a lot of stuff to try to keep the aftermarket alive, but I mean, if there's not people that are even interested in modifying cars, people just want to go buy a brand new BMW and it's fast out the box and they're just going to leave it alone, then the aftermarket's going to die along with it.
Copy and paste the same, And honestly, I think what it is, and I hold myself accountable to this because I'm not practicing when I preach right now with Lydia, is I think it's the curiosity of just shit in general. And I think, like, so what I'm not trying to base the entire generation off of what I see with Lydia, but like, it's hard for me to get her to be curious about anything, you know what I mean? Because anything she has, or anything she is curious about or could think that she would need an answer for, you just pull out your fucking phone and then all of a sudden it's
all
there.
the answers
You know what
are
I
in
mean?
your pocket.
All the answers are in your pocket. So then why the fuck do you need to go look at stuff? You want to go look out or go see some outside, pull up a picture of fucking, Mount Vernon or whatever, like just a photo of outside. Like, cool, I got my outside.
Hey, we're going to go do this tour at Mount Vernon. No, I already did it. I did a virtual 360
virtual
walkthrough. Like,
exactly.
I'm good.
I threw on my fucking VR goggles and all of a sudden I got a tour.
It's
but
true.
it's like, it's hard to try to, it's hard to convince, this child to be like, hey, there's experience that's way better than just like, I guess visually seeing or Googling something. And like, for myself, like I'm in like a weird in between, almost like the millennial generation between like, in car culture or Northern Virginia car culture. Like I had Vortex and Instagram almost simultaneously. Like in 2008, 9, and 10 is when I got on Vortex, didn't even have a license. Like it's just fucking perusing because it's what I wanted. And then like Instagram came out and I was like, holy shit, now I can actually keep up with my friends that are not, local or keep up with builds and whatnot. But I had the benefit of the earlier, like the taste of like good forum in local car culture, going to shows, being curious. Like I had no care about who owned what car. I would have that conversation with them because I want to know what they know. and what their experience was and so on and so forth and building shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it came to Instagram, it was like the early days of Instagram was so like raw. That's weird. Raw, I guess.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't.
I missed the early days of Instagram.
You know what I mean?
It
Like,
was it was experimental. It was fun.
Yeah.
And people weren't using it to try to like monetize. People weren't using it to like for personal gain. It was literally just like MySpace, but not. So with MySpace, like, because that was probably your first introduction to social media as we know it today.
Yeah.
MySpace, I literally only used it with like immediate family and friends.
Yeah.
Whereas Instagram was really the first time you had a social media like app. Because like, I mean, I was already talking to people through the internet through like via forums or like car domain.
Yeah.
But Instagram was like this first thing where it wasn't really specific to like one make, model of car or one topic or whatever, that you started networking with people like outside of your immediate like friends and family bubble. And I mean, I still like Instagram. I like never post on there anymore. I share like, you know, just crude humor memes and stupid stuff in my story. I very rarely ever post just because like I just feel like it's kind of falling on deaf ears at this point. Because I'm not like a pseudo influencer or anything. So it's just kind of like, who cares?
Yeah.
But there was a time when Instagram was kind of shiny and new that I would get excited about like curating. Like I'm going to put when I do post, I put a lot of thought into it. I try to tell a story, but like the excitement is definitely not there like it used to be.
So I think that's like the thing is try to reinvigorate like curiosity with, you know, the younger generation to be like, hey, there's more to like a thing that they believe is the new thing. I mean, like, what happens when you do something for a long time, it becomes a habit. Is that habit good or bad? It's really like subjective to whoever's, you know, viewing, you know, the perspective. And so it's like, is this what it's going to be in the future? Like, is this how car culture is going to be in the future? If it is, it sucks. But like, what is, again, not preaching anything, or not practicing when I preach, because I'm definitely not. I don't have. That's the excuse. I don't have time for the effort. Like, how do we go out and mend things? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or bring the culture to the younger generation to kind of give them like that feeling. And it's like, is it even our you know, responsibility to do so?
Yeah.
I think it is.
I think so.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's going to die if we don't continue to keep it up, right?
Right.
Like and like I said, I have kids that are not so interested in cars, but I'm trying to keep their interest enough to where when I'm not here, they're going to take care of the art that I've created.
The fleet.
Right.
Especially Carlito.
But I didn't drive it here today.
He's got a.
They might have pulled me over. It's like a 2005 Corolla.
It's like a beige 2005 Corolla.
Beige, baby.
Everyone needs a beater.
It's a perfect beater.
Yeah, hell yeah.
But I just
Yeah, like I commuted from like the other side of Culpeper all the way to Northern Virginia every day, and I was driving a full-size truck, and I was like, it's costing me $700 a month to drive to work. So I called a friend of mine, and I was like, hey, I'm just looking for a little commuter car. If you ever come across one, let me know.
Yeah.
So a week or two later, he calls me, and he goes, hey, my neighbor has a Corolla. Do you want to come look at it? I was like, yeah. Does it run? He goes, oh, it runs. He's like, but they hit a deer.
No.
I was like, all right, well, let me come look at it. Yeah. So I go and look at the car, and the whole front's pushed in. The door won't open because the fenders are pushed against the doors. But he gets in it, cranks right up, doesn't leak anything. He's like, drive it down the road. So I take it down the road, come back. I was like, what do you want for it? And he goes, I'll take $300. And I was like, I will be back tomorrow with a trailer. That was 2 years ago. I've been driving it ever since. It's got, like the odometer quit working. It went to 29999.
How many miles are on it?
Probably 3 something. But just yes.
That is insane. You will never find a $300 car anymore.
I drive the shit out of it.
Fuck yeah,
that's
dude.
it. That's my beater.
That's like the Civic. So Carlito is to you what my old Civic was to me. So years ago, I was kind of almost word for word the same thing where I just needed just a cheap daily, cheap throwaway car, whatever. Yeah. Kamo, I think it was his coworker, had a 97 Civic HX. It had 189,000 miles on it when I bought it. Yeah. It was 50 shades of red. The clear coat had just completely left the chat. Like certain parts of it were red, certain parts of it were pink. Yeah. Certain parts of it were salmon. Yeah. It had a brand new transmission in it. It was an HX, which if If anybody doesn't know what an HX is, that was like
Below
it had
DX?
it had VTEC E. So it was
Okay.
a D, I think it was a D15 something. I don't
Single
know their
jingle?
code. Single jingle.
Yeah.
But it was VTEC, but the VTEC was there strictly for fuel economy. It wasn't there for performance. It was the hybrid before the hybrid. It had
It got
the
slower
wheels.
the faster you went.
It had the like if you know like the really iconic like the Civic and Integra Type R wheels, the multi spokes. It had those wheels, but 14s.
Yeah.
And they looked just like a Type R wheel, but they were like 14 by like 6s or something.
Okay.
And yeah, because it was all for fuel economy. And dude, to this day, I don't miss many of the cars that I've sold, but I sold that to Kai's little sister as her first car.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure she totaled it immediately.
Yeah.
R.I.P. to that car. But dude, when I first started dating Erica, I was driving that up to PA every weekend because she was up at, she was still at school in Bloomsburg. And that thing literally, it didn't burn that much oil.
Yeah. Yeah.
If it's burning oil, it has oil.
Yeah, exactly.
The heat only worked occasionally.
Yeah.
It was hit or miss, but that thing was just the most reliable, just no frills. I put a head unit in it. And I was like, I could like connect my phone to it. And thing got like unlimited miles per gallon. Like I didn't care what it looked like. Like I didn't care. Like I was on vacation one year in the Outer Banks, and I'd taken my SRT6, and it got hit in our neighborhood where I'd left it parked in front of the house in Haymarket. Mm-hmm. Someone hit it, caved in the quarter panel. Hermanson sent me a picture, and he's like, "Hey, I think someone hit your Civic." And I was just like, "Ah." When we got home, we pulled out the carpet in the trunk, and we got a big block of wood and a hammer, and I beat the quarter panel back out. And I lost no sleep over it. I was like, "It's good. It's it's straight-ish." Like, I miss having a car like that just was dead nuts reliable, that I just didn't care about what it looked like. I didn't care about how it was just get in, go. It got you where you need to be. Saved. It was very easy on the wallet. So.
Everyone needs a car.
Everyone needs like a $500.
The older I got, the more I realized I needed that, right? Because as a car guy or girl, right? It's Friday night. All my parts are here. I'm gonna try to work on my car Friday, Saturday, get it together to go to school Monday or go to work Monday. Like that is the thrash.
Yeah.
I wish I took my advice when I was like that age and just bought a little shitty car I didn't care about. Because now I'm like, they get done when they get done, and I'll just keep driving this little hunk.
It's just kind of like you have something to fall back on as long as the other cars are being built. Like you got old reliable, old trusty.
It's the one car I've done nothing to, which is amazing.
So here's the stonks, all right? You just have 5 cars, right? And then all of them you modify, and then 3 of them don't run. Yeah. And it's the best life ever. Because now you're just cycling which one's going to break.
I feel like I know somebody that meets that
whoever that guy is
criteria.
A fucking idiot.
Shockingly close.
That was me for a very long time.
Yeah.
I got hip to it in my old age.
That's, to a lesser extent, that's me right now, where I have 2 very heavily modified vehicles, and I'm kind of over it.
We should pull the motor out of one of those and just rebuild it for no reason.
But like, no, it's like that was like I'm not going the beater route though.
Yeah.
I'm actually going the opposite route of like, I have never owned anything subjectively like newer.
Sure.
Like even the truck that I have it's a 15, but when I got it in 21, it was already 6 years old. Yeah. Like I've owned one new car.
Yeah.
But I'm actually buying like a newer vehicle with actual creature comforts. I'm not gonna know how to act. I'm gonna be like, my car can do what?
What is happening?
We have one. So we have Ashley's Yukon, and it was older. It's a couple years old. It's an 18, but that was it. I was like, I need to have one good family vehicle that she can get in and go. And I spoil myself when I drive it because I'm used to my little $300 shitty car. I get in her Yukon and it's got a heated steering wheel. It's got heated seats and everything. I mean, the freaking car drives itself. And I'm like, this is just, it's not for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can see where people like it, but it's not for me.
I need the pain, the drama.
Well, I'm going to have...
raw.
Yeah.
I'm going to have
I
both.
can hear the struts rattling. That's what I like.
I'm looking forward to having both dynamics though, because I still have the 3000 GT. It's a 31-year-old, slammed, has all the wind noise. Yeah. It's it's not super loud, but I mean it's got an exhaust and it rides super stiff spring rates on it. And I'm just looking forward to having a vehicle that when I'm going, so right now, things I have to think about is things that a lot of people shouldn't have to think about. When I'm leaving my neighborhood, when I come up to the intersection, there's multiple ways I can get out of my neighborhood. Mm. 2 ways have speed humps, 1 way doesn't. The 1 way that doesn't have speed humps is longer. If there's no cars coming on the speed hump ways, I'll go that way because it's quicker.
Yeah.
If there's a car coming and I know if I'm going left and there's a car coming from the right, I won't turn left because the amount of times I've had people get mad because I slow down and I angle over the speed bump and they're like honking at me and like doing this. And I'm like, dude, I'm just trying to not rip the front of my vehicle off. I don't want to have to worry about that.
Yeah.
I want to just be able to pull up to an intersection and there's 10 cars coming that way and go, cool,
Right, fuck them.
I'm going to pull out in front of them because I don't have to drive like a crazy person over the speed bump. I'm just really...
I can confirm we had to do that this morning.
I'm just really... And it's still scraped. It's still scraped. I angle over it and it's still scraped.
On the truck?
On the truck. The front valence of that truck is so low. And like, I love the truck and like, I've had a good 5 years with it and like, it's cool. It makes all the right noises, whatever. But like, I just want something comfortable with real ground clearance that like when it snows I can drive. And so it's like the very like I'm turning 40 this year. And so this is the adult thing of like I know, right?
I just turned 33 today and I feel old.
This is the very like this is the most adult by all accounts. This is probably the most adult vehicular decision I've ever made.
Dude, I think hell is freezing over because
no.
our buddy Kevin is like
Higdon?
Higdon Bowie. He's like my brother. He was the like lead tech for fucking Subaru. What's that Subaru shop in
Mach 5.
Mach 5 Motorsports. He was like the lead tech there. He's built his S14. He like fabbed a turbo manifold out of like random shit to for his KA 24DE, and then like bought a standalone and learned how to fucking tune it and like literal wizard, right? He hits me up the other day and he's like, yo, I'm trying to get a new daily because he's going to school and whatnot. And like Kevin was the mad scientist, you know what I mean? He was also the dude that if you gave him a 12-pack, he'd find a way to be on the roof of the house. Like every single, I have a picture of him literally sitting on Nate's old house on where the corner is, just sitting there. Everybody's hanging out on the fucking patio and he's just on the fucking roof. So
he just has to be perched, man.
Yeah, exactly. He's just perching. And so he was like, yo, look what I got. And he sends you a photo. And it's a fucking Tesla Model 3.
Oh no. That's where I draw the line. That's where I draw the line.
The dude that literally pulled his 2003 ML 500 and rebuilt the trans on that just for fun, like because he was like, I can do it. So it's like for him, nothing's an issue. He built an entire like track car out of a K20 or S14, and then has helped everybody in their like car modding, you know, whatever, by giving people like literal engineering lessons for shit. Bought a Tesla.
That's where I draw the line.
Must be a Kevin thing too. Because
Kevin doesn't have a Tesla though.
No. But he's got nothing but drift cars lining his driveway. He's got one of the fastest cars I've ever ridden in his garage. And he drives an RDX that's like a mom car.
But an RDX is
and I'm like,
still,
when are you going to get that car done?
An RDX is still... So like my whole thing with Teslas is... It's more so specifically Tesla. It's not like EVs as a whole, even though I'm just like, I'm not into the whole EV hype. But
yeah.
Teslas are like the most like no frills, mundane, soulless, like sterile, like the interior is like you screen.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the interior. Screen, seats.
Yeah.
The outside looks so boring.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing, there's no cool vents, there's no cool like angles and stuff. It's just like melted soap.
Yeah, it's the IKEA
Makes no
of cars.
noise. Like it's literally
You know what I mean?
100%.
I mean, like, you know, the TikTok generation likes to use the term NPCs for everything, non-playable characters, which, to be fair, I've kind of started adopting that. I call all my neighbors with Teslas NPCs now. But, like, the Tesla is, by all accounts, like, that is, like, the quintessential, like, NPC car. Like, that is the car where you're like, I don't care what kind of car I have. I don't really care what it, like, I just want to, like, blend into society, get from point A to point B, save money. Like, the car doesn't need to have any soul. Like, it doesn't need to be any bit different from my neighbor's car. Like, that is like your one size fits all, like, cookie cutter car. Yeah. So when I see people buy a Tesla, it hurts my soul because I'm like, you just tell me you don't care about cars anymore. Because like, sorry, this is my tangent.
No, you're good.
The car that I'm getting ready to buy, I've put a lot of time and thought into getting. I'm getting a very specific trim and model and year and all that.
You're not going to tell us, are you?
I mean, I can. Do you want me to?
No, we're going to save that. We're going to save that.
Yeah, I was like, I don't want to make this super about me, so I wasn't going to go into the car itself. But
I'm bringing it back up.
But
I know what it is.
But the getting into like the specific model and trim and everything, it has to be a 24 because that's the only year I can get the trim that I want. before they Tesla-fied the interior. So in 25, they did one big giant screen, and I test drove a 25, and I was like, I hate this. But the 24 has the gauge cluster it's its own thing, and then it has an infotainment screen, and it's still separate. You're not going to know what it is by me telling you they changed the dash for 25. And if you do, you're as autistic as me somehow. But they also made a couple exterior changes. They made the bumpers more angular. They changed the grille a little bit. I, by all accounts, prefer the 24, the pre-facelift.
Sounds like an Audi.
It's not an Audi.
Yeah.
It's the only vehicle that's come out. It's the only vehicle, like I would say, it's the only vehicle that's come out in the last decade, like newer vehicles that I actually like when they came out that I was like, I actually really like that. And I've actually kind of had a plan for one in the back of my head for a while of like, if I ever bought one, here's what I'd do to it.
Yeah.
And I have a whole plan. Like I have everything. I have a spreadsheet on my work computer of like everything I want to do to it.
Yeah.
And like, because I'm going to buy it as early as next week.
Yeah.
It's at a CarMax in Delaware. I paid the $99 to ship it to the CarMax in Dulles.
Oh shit,
It's got 9,000 miles on it. It's a 24. Dan Savage works at the CarMax in Dulles. He's going to personally look it over for me, make sure everything checks out. As long as he gives me the seal of approval, I'm buying it.
So I want the viewers to do me a solid favor because we're going to go over Josh's car at the end of the episode.
We can, yeah.
Just comment what you think the car is so far, because I can't.
Just know that I will never, even for like a daily, I'm never going to drive something that is quote unquote normal.
If it's like a Fisker, I'm gonna be fucking bored.
No,
I'm
Jesus.
just kidding.
Like it's by all accounts, it's reliable, it's practical, and I've always thought they were super. It's very me, and like what I'm going to do to it, and I can give a quick blip of that, is also going to be very me. Like it won't look like all the other ones. Like I'm not going butt nuts with it, but I mean, it's gonna get wrapped a very specific color for a very specific reason. Do wheels, tires. I'm gonna do, window tint, ceramic coat. Like I'm not gonna modify the engine. I'm not gonna modify the suspension. Like I want it to look the way I want it to look, but I also want it to maintain all of its functionality and practicality. So
what I'm gonna do is we're gonna take a quick break so I can pee. But what I'm gonna do when I have fuck you money is I'm gonna buy specifically a Tesla Model 3 in white.
No.
Okay, I'm gonna slap Amazon like arrow on it. Hold on, and then it's gonna have like a half and half wrap, so it's even more cringier, right? And then half of it's gonna be Josh's most hated car, and then this is what else I'll finish it off with. It's gonna be on bags, and it's gonna be bagged on ESRs that look like splits, right? And then I'm gonna bend the fucking license plate, or no, bend the license plate and then also dangle it, and off of one screw.
I saw that for the first time. He mentioned it on the podcast. I forget which one it was, and I was driving home the other day, and the car looked really nice, and I was like, that guy's license plate's about to fall off, and then it hit. I'm like, he did that on purpose.
He did. Look how cool my stupid edgelord license plate is. Fuck off.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pee really quick.
I would rather drive a slow car fast than a fast car slow.
Oh yeah.
That's to me, a Tesla is really fast to go sit in traffic in, cool. Whereas dude, throw me in like a 100 horsepower gutted CRX with a single jingle tuned out and put me on Summit Point, and I'm just you have to be foot to the floor the whole time to go anywhere, and you're just sitting at the top of your RPMs the whole time. That's, even though you're not by all accounts going as fast as the Tesla would be, it's a whole experience. It's a whole production, and all your senses are igniting. Versus a Tesla, you're sitting there. There's no sound. It's just you're super comfortable. It's super quiet. I'm like, what that? You just go ride a monorail or something if you want that experience. Go to Japan and ride, or wherever the hell bullet trains are. Go ride on a bullet train, because that's just a really big Tesla.
Jesus Christ!
Hot take.
That is a hot take. I like that.
You struck a nerve.
For most people, I know, and I'm gonna eat this up a little bit. So imagine most people, you have your fucking regular normal family that 9 to 5 Monday through Friday or whatever, drives in traffic, and then just like everybody else, and they just they got rid of the their minivan because their kids are out of school and shit, or they're in school or whatever. They don't really go out, and kids have their own cars, whatever, blah blah blah. And so she's like, honey, or the guy or the husband or wife is fucking, we should try to save up on gas. Gas is $4 or whatever, and we should probably go save in gas. And let's go take a look at one of those Teslas. They're $20,000, $30,000. They get in it, and they're like, oh man, this is just what I need to get to work.
Big
or whatever.
Stupid screen.
And then they fucking floor it from a stoplight. And now that's all Teslas do is at the fucking stoplight. It is a race. And they're like, they've never felt anything like that before because they've been driving a fucking minivan or like a Pathfinder or a fucking name the family SUV that people have. You know what I mean? And now they're like
a Flex.
Yeah.
Hey,
it's a
Josh
fucking
is
wagon.
taking
Okay.
shots today.
It'll be the first. Actually, no. We have a Facebook group message of like other bag flexes there's 3 of us that are building bag setups for.
You guys are starting a flex gang.
Dude, we're flexing
It's
on
not a flex.
I
saw it on the
Yeah,
tag.
not a flex.
Hashtag flexing on them. That should be your car club.
That is the dumbest shit we've ever. You don't really say a lot of dumb shit. It's the first time I've ever heard you say some dumb shit.
I thought you were going somewhere else with this conversation.
No,
by the way.
your age is showing.
I know.
We need
I thought
to
you
get
were going somewhere else with.
We need to get him a TikTok account. Like, right
No.
I'm gonna buy him a walker.
I was
for
getting ready to.
cars and coffee.
I was getting ready to say though. I thought you were going somewhere else with this conversation with. And then they go and look at a Tesla, and they're like, "Oh, maybe we should get the Tesla." I was just gonna be like NPC family, NPC ass family.
Spawn.
If Erica ever came to me and was like, "Babe, I think I'm gonna sell my V90 Artisan and go get a Tesla," I'd be like, "Do you have a good divorce lawyer?"
Can you imagine what dinner's like for that family? They just sit and they're just like, "So how was your day?" And it's just straight NPC activity. Fucking wake up and then they charge themselves at night via
Sim.
USB-C.
Yeah, it's
Sim.
like the room. Yeah.
I'm going to take a shower.
It's so counterintuitive when you say that people that drive Teslas, all they do is just floor it from their stoplight because the whole point of getting a Tesla is for efficiency. And then by doing that, you're just burning down your battery as quickly as possible. So it's just, none of it makes sense. I think it's like the movie Idiocracy.
100%.
And hot take. It's going to offend a lot of people, but I don't care because I know a lot. I'm very like against the next thing I'm getting ready to say too. The equivalent of everybody buying Teslas and accepting it as just like this is what cars are nowadays is the equivalent to everybody just wearing Crocs all the time.
Ooh.
I know that's a very.
It wears on you. I got a pair of Crocs because I was like, hey, I got to take the dogs out super late at night, and then it's like, all right, I'll wear them to go get the mail. Okay, well now I'm going to Walmart. I'm like, oh shit, I'm wearing them in the garage.
It spreads like cancer, dude.
And I'm like, why can't I stop wearing these ugly things?
Dude, Meredith,
they're ugly and lazy like a Tesla.
I hated the shit out of them. Okay, so hold on. So hear me out. I hated them. Meredith and Lydia wear them whenever we got to do like any dumb shit around the house or outside or whatever, and like running errands. And like they're like, we're getting you a pair of Crocs. And I'm like, no. And she's like, well, it's gonna happen one day, and then once you put them on, and I'm like, no, I'm never gonna be wearing those ugly ass fucking things ever in my entire life.
Rubber clogs is what they look like.
One day they show up in the mail.
Oh no.
A black pair, my size 10, and I'm like, God damn it. And so she's like, you got to put them on. And I'm like, all right, babe, I'll put them on. I put them on. I'm like, fuck, these are comfortable. Mm-hmm. Why are these so comfortable? And now when I go to the mailbox, I was like, oh, I'll just slap these on. And then when I'm in the garage and it's hot as fuck outside, I have this stupid ass Crocs on.
So
there's like little holes of grease in my feet because I got no socks and shit.
I got little black dots all over my feet.
My counter argument is, okay, if you want to wear, I think Crocs have a place. I think there's a time. If you're using it to go get the mail, if you're using it to work on your car in the garage, if you're using it to go wash your car, totally makes sense.
Yeah.
Wearing it out in like public and stuff like that, I'm like, you just look like you've given up on life. You know,
I see that. Yeah. It's kind of like wearing pajamas in public.
Exactly. And then my other counter argument is when Crocs first came out and they were kind of unique, you know, like they were their only things like them. There's alternative options now. So like Eric and I both own pairs of Amphibians, which by all accounts is Crocs that don't look stupid. Yeah. They're actually shaped like Vans. They're rubber. They have square holes in them. I wear them to the beach. I wear them to go wash my car. Like you said, I wear them to go run out and slip them on, go grab the mail. Yeah. So there is alternative options, just like there's alternative options to Teslas. If you want an EV that actually has some semblance of soul and style, they're few and far between, but there's options that exist. Sure. Tesla is just hitting the easy button. You want to do no research. You don't care if you blend in with everybody else. That's kind of how I feel about Crocs. Yeah. It's like when Crocs first came out, they were very unique, but there's lots of options that are very similar to Crocs now that look cooler. They're better. They don't look like you've just given up on life. Yeah. That's my.
Well, do you dislike them because everybody has them?
No, I disliked him.
That's
because,
what it sounds like.
So you know
He's
the
a
episode.
hipster.
He's a hipster.
You know the.
Oh my
I mean, I'm kind
God.
of a hipster. I mean,
Nailed it.
that's not anything new. I mean, come on, look at the fucking shirt.
That's
I'm wearing
why
a
he
Colt
has
45
cars that
hat.
no one else likes.
You're not wrong.
Yeah,
right?
because other people don't like him, and he's like,
Yeah.
well, I like them.
I like
You
it.
are
Yeah.
100% correct. And I
It's
own
full
that.
circle. You
I
hate
own that.
Teslas. You hate all like.
I am so happy
I own that.
you're proudly Josh. That's why I fucking love you,
Me
dude.
too.
I fucking
That's
love
what I
you,
respect.
dude.
But no,
most
the
about you.
reason the biggest, I would say, the number one like thing that I think of when I see Crocs is, have you ever seen the episode of The Simpsons where Homer gets really fat and he wears the moo everywhere?
Yeah.
That is what I picture when people are out. And this is gonna sound really bad. I'm not trying to body shame people. When larger folks are wearing Crocs out in public, I'm always like, "Where's your moo?" Because Homer basically was wearing like Crocs. We go back and rewatch that episode.
Josh.
Like I know.
Shut the fuck up.
It just looks like
I'm not what you would call skinny, so I'm kind of offended.
No.
Yeah, right?
I mean, I'm not skinny either. We're all Hardy
shit.
boys.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Bro, you lost like 40 pounds, dog.
Yeah,
Shut
but
the fuck up.
I haven't been able to work out my arms. I got really bad tendonitis in both arms. That's a whole story of how that happened. I'm not going to tell. It's really stupid, but it's.
One eternity later.
I'm getting old and I don't bounce back like I used to, and I haven't been able to work out upper body for a month now. So
All right.
sucks. Anyways,
Here's the deal. Okay. Corey, you have, in my opinion, I think in this area, one of the finest GTOs I think I've ever seen. And it is, I think there's a story behind it, right? It's been in the family for some time, I think is what it was, or?
Yeah.
Why don't you tell me about the GTO?
I don't know about the nicest around, but
it's very
Dude, it's
nice.
very
alright.
nice.
It's very nice.
Yeah.
it's all right. But yeah, so to kind of draw the whole story together, I was in high school and my dad would drive me to school every day. I lived on the opposite side of the county. I had to drive to school on the other side because I played baseball and that whole deal. On the way to school one day, we ran into one of my dad's friends at 7-Eleven, and he was like, "Hey, I'm going through this divorce. I'm getting all these cars together. If you know anybody who's looking for some old cars or whatever, come by, take a look at them." And most of it was nothing, but he was like, "I have an old Pontiac. I'm trying to get it running. I'd like to get $800 or $1,000 for it. I can't remember what it was." And my dad was like, "Yeah, we'll come look at it." So we went over and looked at it the next day, and it didn't run. My dad's like, "How about I give you $650 for it?" And he was like, "Sure, done." So brought it home, threw some gas in it, put some fresh plugs in it, fired right up. And I was like, "Okay, bet." During that time, I was in the process of building my first car. I had a 68 Camaro. I think that's kind of where I draw the line where the new car culture doesn't devote enough time to a build to respect it enough. It took me 2 years to get that Camaro to a point where it was even ready to put together. Like I had to do all the metal work on the car. It's a 14-year-old kid. It's like, oh, I'll be driving this car in 3 years. It's hard to really fathom that.
Yeah.
So this car came into our life, this Pontiac did, and we started going to some more shows, and I was like, I see a million Camaros, but I saw one GTO here, or I saw one Le Mans here. And my dad and I started talking. I said, why don't we get rid of the Camaro and build this car? So we did. And it was a joint effort. It was a lot more of him than me because I was involved in sports in school, and it was just kind of our collaborative idea coming to life. And this is 2003, so this was like really early on, and which was kind of cool because that resto mod scene hadn't really come in yet. Right. But it had, at the time when we finished it, it had a modern LT motor in it out of a late 80s Camaro. So it was fuel injected, it was on air, it had 17s and on it billet 17s on that day. So they were big. You know, you'd go to a car show and all the old guys that had Krager's on their cars hated it. They were like, this is not cool. They're trying to make this
Sacrilege.
a hoopty, right? Yeah. They painted it an odd color. So he and I built it together, and we showed it for a long time. Fast forward to about 8 years ago, my dad finally started working on his car. He's got an old 5-window coupe. It's a 1931 coupe, but
Hell yeah.
it had been a street rod in the 80s and, just kind of got put on the back burner. And finally he's like, I'm going to redo this car. It's the last one I'm building. I'm going to make it the best I can make it. So I told my dad, hey, I have a Corvette. I think I'm going to sell it. And he pitched the idea. How about this? You sell the car and split it with me, and I'll give you my half of the GTO, whatever it was, because we both invested in it.
Yeah.
So essentially I sold my Corvette. I gave him half of it to fund his build, and that's kind of where it went from there. So I did a lot of additional stuff to it since then. But it's had a few iterations. I'm in the process of redoing it right now. I started about 2 years ago. It had a few little rust bubbles and things like that. So took the metal down while I was in there, just doing stuff that I couldn't do when I was a kid. I didn't know how to gap a car the right way or, make it visually appealing with body lines. So we went back and did all that, cut the quarters back off the car and put them on it. Same with the fenders. The fenders have been moved. The hood's been moved. Like the cow's been shaped. Like, so all of this stuff, like, it's a lot of work. Yeah. And it's finally painted. I'm trying to get it back together for this summer, but it's a labor of love, man. It's not like, I call it like a catalog car. I can go and just buy parts for it and slap it on it. And I think that's that generation now we're in. It's like I can just go on Amazon and I can buy parts for anything.
Copy paste builds.
Yeah. Like I've got a little square body truck right now. I bought a whole lowering kit off Amazon.
Yeah.
It's easy. I'm cool with that. But if you're building a car of a certain caliber, it takes time. Yeah. It's really hard to do. Yeah. And I've been fortunate enough to get into it because of my father and my grandfather. Josh mentioned that it was a multi-generational thing. So my grandfather has built cars since the 60s. And then my dad followed suit, right? He was competing in the ISCA, which is like the indoor show car
that's cool
scene. He was doing that, through the 80s. And then it got me into it. And that's where like going to these big national events that we still attend now kind of just stuck. So we go to Pennsylvania every year, the first week of June, and they have a big national event. It's 4,000 or 5,000 cars. It's huge, but it's everything 1980 and back. So it's really cool to see those cars in that blend. You'll see street rods, muscle cars. Now mini trucks are kind of fitting in that category. So it's a good blend of everything. But for me, I was always into mini trucks, and like we were talking about needing a daily driver, I built a little mini truck while we were working on the GTO. I had a 94 S10, actually full circle, that I bought from the guy I got my Corolla from.
Oh shit.
No way.
Yeah. So when I was like 16, his dad and my dad knew each other, and they said, oh yeah, I got this little S10 pickup. It needs some work. We'll sell it super cheap. Kind of the same story, right?
Yeah.
Went and looked at it.
Is 94 when it was still square, or was that
first round body?
First round body.
First
Okay.
one. Had the
I had a
small,
90...
the small rectangle lights.
Yes, yes.
Small grill.
Okay.
But it was wrecked. Same thing. Needed an A-pillar. We had to put a new roof on this truck. So a new roof. The whole front end was wiped, so I put an Envoy front end, which was kind of cool. Like back in the day, you're looking through Mini Truck magazine, and you're like, what are people doing out west, right? Yeah. And my dad did collision body work, so we would go and like find these parts in junkyards at the time because it was still relatively new. Yeah. So I found like an 02 Envoy, so I put that front end on it. Like Bravada parts. That's what was cool about like that GM style, is everything worked. Yeah. I found some Cadillac taillights at Leon's junkyard, cut the bed up and did that. Like that was a short turnaround, but that was essentially my first daily driver. But it was a modified mini truck, and that scene was huge.
I think it still is.
It's making a resurgence, and it's incredible.
I think it's like underground in that there's still a huge following for it, but I feel like it gets kind of dwarfed by like certain other subcultures within the car
Well, I think it's because the market never took off like it did for other, areas or categories of cars. I can remember flipping through like Mini Truck Magazine, Sport Truck Magazine, and there were, companies that sold everything. Like Fender Bender International. You could go in there and you could buy every piece of sheet metal for any kind of truck you would want. Shave kits, bag kits, like anything. I ordered like the tailgate pockets that you would like weld in.
License plate.
When you have the crooked license plate.
Welded into the tailgate. Like you'd order all that stuff from there. The problem was that takes time that you
can't literally slap it on.
Right.
You have to.
I'm not just bolting it in.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I think that's where that divide was you had this group of like mini truckers that were essentially like garage rats. Like we always hung out in the garage and everybody's always working on something. Yeah. And that's how that happened for me is I kind of stayed in that creative lane working on mini trucks and meeting guys. Brian, who you bought your F-150 from, I met him through the mini truck scene, and now again that's making a huge resurgence. The mini nats have been going on since I got into it, and now it's even bigger. Like they do it in Maggie Valley every year, and they get 1,000 mini trucks.
There's a event down by you. There's a mini truck event, I think in either Fredericksburg or in the Locust Grove area, where Justin Simmons and Pat Chafin sent me. They're like,
Joey Dilworth puts it on. It's a phenomenal show. If you guys get a chance, it's called Attitude Check. But they have the right mentality, right? Yeah. They've made it kind of a focus around the people, not the trucks. It's like, come hang out, but we'll hang out with trucks and cars there too. Damn. So they've now opened it up to where everybody's welcome, like any kind of car. It's not just mini trucks, but it's a 5-day event, which is cool because it's at a campground.
Sick.
So if you want to rent a camper, get a camp spot, bring a tent, whatever you want to do, come hang out, and it's literally just a giant party in a campground. And there's a sign when you first roll in, and I can't remember it right off the top of my head, but it's something to the sense of like, there are kids in this area or at this show, you owe it to them to be your best self. And I think that's what our car scene is missing, right?
I agree 100%.
Joey is incredible when it comes to advocating for just that entire culture. Yeah. I mean, he's traveling around the country promoting his show, promoting other people's shows. Like, he is very involved in it, and the work that he puts into that is awesome.
And it's in our backyard.
It's like 30 minutes from my house, and it's awesome. I've taken a few cars there. We're going this year. It's in April, maybe. I think I have to check.
Yeah, coming up. I want to go take a look at it because that reminds me of Mark 1 Madness, and I haven't even been yet. But I just know from Mark 1 Madness is like a campground where people bring in all of like these old VWs and whatnot, Mark 1s, Mark 2s, and stuff like that, and they just with their families hanging out. Everybody's just meeting each other and whatnot, and like usually it's really hot, so I haven't gone because it's really hot or it's been stormed out. But I think I want to go to that show just to experience and document and record and whatnot. And then, like just to see what that feels like with like other car cultures. I think that's why a lot of the shows that I haven't been to, or that are coming up or whatever, I don't go to because of it's not like people oriented or like what I mean, like we not to badger an old topic, but fucking Import Expo, like sure it's cool. Just last time I went,
Import Expo is like comfort food for me though because. I've been going for so long, and I know not only the people that run the show, but I know a lot of the other people that are in the same mindset of me. Like, it brings in new people every year, which is great, which is what you want it to do. Yeah. But there is still kind of like a lot of those constants, and like there's a lot of people that I hang out with exclusively at Import Expo every year, where like they're maybe in the area, but like I don't get to see them and catch up with them as much as I would. But it's for me, it's. If I will say this, and this is, I don't want this to come across the wrong way, because I got nothing but love for Import Expo. But for me, if I hadn't been going since 2015, and like let's say I just started building an import or whatever, like would I still want to go to it now if it wasn't like a legacy event for me? I don't know. Right. And I say that because it's for me it is a lot of work. For Import Expo, driving my 3000 GT into DC is the biggest thing. Honestly, for me, that's like the biggest gripe that I have is just getting there, and it's a late event, and having to drive having to leave DC at like 10:30 at night in my 3000 GT is a nightmare, and I get like crippling anxiety when I think about it, but I do it every year.
Yeah.
That's my biggest reservation with it. But the fact that I've been going for so long, it's just something that's, I look forward to every year. I look forward to the people that I see there every year.
Yeah.
That's my biggest reason for going.
For sure.
Yeah, and I think that's where you center it again, around the people.
People,
That's
100%.
I think we are attracted to that.
Yeah.
That's similar. Zach or a friend of mine puts on a show, and
ORR?
yep,
That name's so familiar.
he puts on a C10 truck show down in Spotsylvania, and it's called Old Dominion Rally, the Old Dominion Rally, I believe.
Yeah.
And it's all GM trucks, but it's centered around like getting your kids involved.
Oh, hell
So when
yeah.
you come in, if you have a kid, they give you a Hot Wheel, and then
that's
at the
cool.
front of the show, they have a Hot Wheel track, and the kids go and race their Hot Wheel. It's just cool, right? Like
That's
that's how it should be
Yeah.
going forward at any place you go. Import Expo, I've done a few times, and it's just, to me, it's like a cookie cutter car show.
Yeah.
It's cool, you see your friends, but it's like you've got extremely loud music from every angle you can think of. It's like sensory
that's
overload.
just import shows
right?
in general, unfortunately.
It's for me, it's a little too much, but I
get it.
enjoy it because of the people that are there.
Yeah.
For sure.
And I think it's hard to really get away from that.
So you've been, so your car experience, like growing up as a kid and whatnot, is, and I'm sorry to go back into this, but it's multi-generational, right? So the experience that you had, I mean, it's kind of hard to say, or kind of easy to figure out where your love for cars came from, because it was passed down to you the same way like your father was passed down to him.
in your DNA.
Yeah, right. Which is, I think, is awesome. There's probably, that's like generations of hot rodding essentially is like the coolest shit.
Oh,
Like,
it's so cool.
You know what I mean? Like, I think that's rad. And you got into you'd been building the GTO and your S10 for some time, and then meet all of these other people in your time frame. You know what I mean? Young, and then you branched out into different like cars or different manufacturers and whatnot to kind of like expand. What other builds or cars have you had since the?
So,
And I need to say this too. If possible, when the GTO is done, I'd like to do what you call. I loved what you called it.
Build bio.
Build bio.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna change the name to the owner spotlights to Build bio. That's
like
like
a
a fucking phenomenal naming, dude.
Build bio.
This is why I need a creative person in my life, because like I'm just so project manager oriented.
Josh is very creative.
Yeah, I
I'll
love
give him
that shit. I'm gonna have to shoot you some scene ideas, because I usually just like sit there and make a scene. and-
Dude, for like because like podcast, this for me is like my bread and butter, because this is what gives me like the appropriate channel to just say my weird,
Shit, yeah.
unhinged, just like left field things. Like I get to like, it's like I can take it and I can channel it into like a laser beam.
Sure, yeah.
But I do have a lot of really cool ideas just for like car centric things that aren't podcasts.
Yeah.
And not only for like my car, but just for cars in general.
Right.
So, but
So
yeah,
I- Yeah, I'd love to. I mean,
we can sit down and talk about that.
would like to do a build bio.
Oh, he'd be perfect.
I'll
to
come
build
down,
bio.
you know what I mean, like to the shop, and we'll do like some cinematic footage, whatnot, run the whole thing. If you're up for it, I'd love to. I don't want me to put you on the spotlight. But
No,
like,
I think it'd be cool.
Hell
I don't
yeah.
know if it necessarily fits everybody's mold, but it's different.
But that's the beauty
that's
of
the beauty of it. Like,
is it's unapologetically you, and like it shouldn't fit everybody's mold, because then it wouldn't be unique and creative and cool, and it'd be a Tesla.
right, exactly.
It'd be an NPC car.
I think that's something that I've tried to attribute to everything I've built or put together is I just want it to be timeless.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you could even go back into the hot rod world or muscle car world, and I can tell you exactly when a car was built.
Yeah.
You can go look at them, and I can say, oh, I can tell by the wheels, I can tell by all the accessories.
That's what
when
was
they built this
trending
car,
at
right?
that time.
Just like now, you go into the stand scene, I can say, I know you built this either in the mid 2000s, you built this in 2010, like to fit that mark.
Right.
My goal was to always build a car that 15 years from now, 20 years from now is still cool.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's why I really never touched the GTO until a few years ago when it needed it, is because it still presented well. I could still go to car shows and have fun with my friends and drive it anywhere I wanted to.
Yeah.
But it still stood out. It got the attention it needed. I don't like awards, but it was still cool to get some recognition for that. But even my daily driver cars, and stuff that I've had, a nice set of wheels, that OEM Plus look. I know, you're a big advocate for different wheels of other manufacturers on cars. I did that for a long time because it's cool, right? Yeah. Like, to me, the perfect build is the right stance, the right set of wheels. I don't care if it's painted, primered, what the freaking car or truck looks like. If it's got the right stance or wheels, that's it for me.
Exactly.
Done.
Yeah. Clean and simple.
I totally agree.
The 68, so it's funny enough, Mare's dad had a 68 GTO. When we met, because she's a heavy car person, and so like we had the conversation of what our favorite, or what our like favorite U.S. car would be, because we have to own one at some point, right?
U.S.
So
because you have a Flex. Are you saying U.S.
Yeah, like an old muscle car.
Okay.
Like a muscle car. Yeah,
I figured that's what you meant, but I was like, well, you kind of have a U.S. car.
Yeah.
But I see what you're saying.
We're building a Fox, but the Fox is just it's a long story behind that. And then like my two cars that I told her was like, and this is before I knew her dad had one. It was like, I don't know what it is. I don't know anything about it. I just know it's what I like. It's the GTO with the fucking 2 headlights. Mm-hmm. Like that was number one, and the second one was a Buick Riviera, and like. That's all I want.
Big girl.
Like, big bitch, dude.
Big long
big
car.
Fucking bitch. And I just want one of those because like I'm a huge GT car guy. Yeah. Even though that's American muscle, it had so many GT car roots, you know what I mean? Like that ended up being GT car-ish in the future, right? Because you think of in the 70s, it's all the fucking kids can fit in this big ass coupe, you know what I mean? Like the family can fit in this big ass coupe and go wherever they needed to go because it was a living room inside of the car essentially. And like but it was just comfortable. It was, at that time, the build was luxurious enough to be luxurious. You know what I mean? Yep. Like, it had everything that you would need. It was bleeding edge technology for the time. But it's also this big fucking V8. It's a coupe. It's just, it hits all, like, when you boil it down to its, like characteristics, it has all the things that I'd ever want. You know what I mean? So it was like, those are the two cars. So I'm happy, like, I remember seeing your car for the first time. I was like, what the fuck is that? And I was like, bro, that's Corey's right there. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, and so, but yeah, so you had the, sorry, we're going back on the S10, and then after the S10 you had, which car?
I've had a ton of vehicles, and so I've had probably 5 or 6 more S10s that were just like daily drivers, and or just beat around vehicles. Yeah. But once I started hanging out with Kamo, the Josh, and some of the exclusive guys, I got a little more into the, I would say, import scene. Yeah. I bought an IS 250 because it was a 6-speed manual. I needed something that I could put kids in.
Like the 08?
It was an 06. It was the first year of the
They made
it
a
IS.
manual?
Yeah. It was the only year they made in a manual 6-speed. And I sought after this car. It was pearl white, manual 6-speed, and it had the sport wheels on it, the split forks.
Yeah.
I bought that car locally here, somewhere in Chantilly, and then I started going to meets, and I was like, I think I want to modify this car. And then I saw Chance's Lexus.
Oh, that's when he had the was it a GS?
Yeah.
430?
Yeah, something like that.
It was the biggest one.
I got into it, and I was like, oh, this is kind of sick. So I started like researching the market, and I was like, what can I do? Stance and wheels. Like I'm not trying to do anything crazy. I still have to drive this to work. I still got to throw my kids in it. So I bought a set of iForge wheels. It was the first thing I did. They didn't fit at all. Had to pull the quarters, pull the fenders, and then I was like, okay, I like the car stupid low, but I can't drive it. So I put air on the car. Then, of course, like in perfect car fashion, it's all right, now how crazy can I build this air setup? All right. Then I didn't like the interior, so I drove to PA and swapped the guy on a forum for his black interior, and I had tan interior, so we swapped. It turned into a whole gambit of building that car. So while I was doing that, I was like, I need to build something else. My itch is not scratched. So I wanted to go fast. I bought a SC300 that was blown up, but it had a perfect body on it. Yeah. I had a 6-liter LS motor that I was putting in the car. Car completely gutted. Granted, I'm living in a small community homeowners association, and they're watching me just like throw piles of parts of cars out the door. no violations though. But started building this car. I got about halfway through it, and Ashley was like, "Why don't you just buy one done? Buy a car that's done." And I was like, "Well, I don't really have that option. I've never had that option."
Yeah.
And it got me thinking. I was like, you know what I've always wanted? My bucket list car was a C6. I've always wanted a C6 Corvette. How do I get into one? So I did some research. I sold all the parts I had. I ended up getting rid of the Lexus and buying a nicer family vehicle for her. And I bought a C6. But it was the first generation of that. It was an 05, so it wasn't really sought after. It was kind of the cheaper model, base model.
Sure.
But I know how to do body work. I know how to do the mechanical side of it. So I put a wide body on it, put all the Z06 creature comforts in it, the cookie cutter C6 build.
Sure.
Cam heads, the things you can do to make them
I love the license plate.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
The license plate was, I don't remember the exact spelling, but it was "gonna learn"
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
with the chop and everything.
Hell yeah.
I enjoyed it for a while, but my kids didn't like riding in it. It was obnoxious.
Loud,
it was
yeah.
not really practical.
Yeah.
I ended up getting rid of that car, but I had some basic cars throughout the middle of that too. I had some other hot rods that I started building that never got done.
Yeah.
And everything from the 30s to 40s and up. Just never really finished them.
Yeah.
It's all time, man. Like
Yeah.
you said, you get a family and kids, and you never really get around. Like I can't devote the time that I used to it, and I'm okay with that. Like
Yeah.
I'm starting to value that family time, but now I'm bridging my kids into like that car culture and just respecting it.
Oh yeah.
I don't expect them to go sit at a Cars and Coffee every Sunday morning or go to a car show for 8 hours every Saturday.
Yeah.
I just want them to be able to get into it and drive it, take care of their own personal vehicle enough to be able to not go to a shop and get charged out the ass to do something as simple as an oil change.
Dude, yeah, that's the kind of where like I'm gonna slowly start introducing Lydia to. Well, she said she was gonna start coming to the garage now because it's warmer, but it's like it'll save money in the long run.
Oh yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like I think about all of the cars, and I shouldn't even say I've built them because most of them is just fucking maintenance. but like all the work that I've done so far would have bankrupted me by now. Like pulling the fucking motor of the Mark II, and I'll show you guys when we go down the garage. But it's just painstaking. I think that in order to save Lydia's financial, like you know what I mean, like health in the future, it's like you got to learn how to do an oil change.
Absolutely, and I
like
think
200 an hour right now.
that should be like they should be teaching that in driver's ed.
Hell
They should
yeah.
be teaching that in school, right? My son, he's getting ready to turn 18, and he's been driving, but the first thing I said was, all right, we're going to figure out how to change a tire. We're going to figure out how to change oil. I'm going to show you how to change spark plugs.
Yep.
Just a tune-up, right?
Yeah.
I don't expect you to rebuild a car or
Right.
have the passion to scroll Marketplace endlessly.
right. Yeah. Yeah.
Like I do, but I just wanted him to have enough experience that if something did happen and he's hours away, he can figure it out.
Right.
And that's kind of where it spawned from. Unfortunately, I got the bug because of my dad. I watched my dad every Saturday, Sunday, every hour he had spare was in the garage working on something.
Oh, yeah.
And, my grandfather was the same way. My grandfather was a body man. My dad was a body man. He's no longer in the collision world. He actually he works for an individual and does Concourse style build cars. So Amelia Island,
Wow.
all of the big Pebble Beach style cars.
That's fucking cool.
Tons of pre-war stuff. Really, really neat.
Holy shit.
So it's gotten really tailored into his, art of metal fabrication and engineering, which is great. Like, so that wore off on me. I can't say I'm great at it. I'm lucky that I have him.
Yeah.
But it gets the wheels turning for me, and that's what started the bug. And now, that's all I want to do every waking hour.
Yeah.
When I'm not with my kids is just work on stuff. That's why I feel like every time I see a project, I'm like, ooh, this is how I could do that, right?
Yeah.
How many times have you scrolled through Marketplace and you see a car and you're like,
Oh, yeah.
oh, I know exactly how I'd build this.
Yeah.
That's me. Like
Yeah.
every day.
Yeah.
But
It's like I have like
I'm not rich.
like a filing cabinet of like, oh, this car, like I have a plan for that if I ever bought one. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
my Rolodex. But
Exactly.
no, it was very easy to get into it. And I saw the positives that it brought into everyone's life.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Not financially. It hurts.
Dude, so there's like my counter argument to that is it helped me be so hands-on, or it helped me be, so I was in the field of like audiovisual IT, essentially. It was like conference rooms and workstations and shit like that, like whatever. But I didn't get into that because I was like interested into it. It was because a car friend, Nate, my buddy Nate, or our buddy Nate, got me into it. But then like, because I knew a shit about cars, it helped me understand that.
It was translatable.
Yeah, it was all translatable.
Yeah.
And so if I wasn't working on cars as a kid, like I wouldn't have these hands on, like I wouldn't be able to just pick up a fucking tool and be able to use it. You know what I mean? So it's so weird how like relatable cars are into your daily life. And like once I learned the career path for AV, I was well, I need to have more money in order to fucking fund this build. So I ended up working really hard to get, promoted and shit like that, to climb up the ladder, which then that money just ended up going right back into cars. And so if I just sold all of my shit or didn't do car shit, I would have been, living in a comfortable house. Knock on wood, I'm in the,
But no, I'm in the same boat, right? Like I watched the generations before me work on cars, and they hated working on their own stuff.
Yeah.
My grandfather and my dad always had cars that were never done because they were working on something for somebody else all the time. And the advice that he gave me was, go get you a stable, solid job in corporate America and enjoy your hobby. And that's what I did. But back to what you said, I got into the IT field the same way. My brain loves to troubleshoot. I love to get my hands into things, and that's how I got into the data center world. And I've been in the data center world for the last 15 years now because of it.
I might as well say that's also
like
how
exactly
I got into
how you
it.
did it too.
Because Steve Hermanson worked for Iron Mountain at the time, and we still work for Iron Mountain, obviously. Yeah. And he kept telling me, I was really burnt out in my previous career, which was sales, and he kept telling me, like, dude, like, I know you don't know like data centers and all that, but he's like, you have a very keen attention to detail. You're very methodical in everything you do, and that's all very translatable in data centers. And one day I finally took him up. I did an interview, and here I am coming up on 7 years.
I think sales is arguably an absolute necessity of you need to be in a sales job, I think, in order to help you in your future careers, whether it be like selling cars, selling software, selling whatever. And this is a completely off the wall topic, but my reason is sales teaches you so many fucking like soft skills that enable you to communicate, whatever it is that you have to do, even in like the engineering world or whatever. Like being able to, like, if you're the smartest person in the entire planet, but you have no form of communication or whatever, or can't relay that information, your intelligence cannot be shared with anybody else. Right. And so like sales is so crucial that I feel like when we're hiring, right, one of the things that I look for is a little bit of a sales or retailer experience for the younger generation, because I want to see, like, I don't want to hire anybody that's like not team oriented or doesn't know how to communicate well, because then they could be straight A's and 4.2 whatever GPA in school or whatever, but an absolute dog shit communicator.
Yeah, no people skills.
No people skills whatsoever. Yeah. Difficult to fucking work with, you know what I mean? But they're so intelligent. So it's like, weird off topic. But
I do the same thing with hiring too. Like, I can teach you to do the job. I can't teach you the soft skills you need. Yes. I can't teach you how to engage people. Like I did sales prior to going to like a hyperscaler.
We're all the same person.
Yeah, exactly.
You learn how to deal with a variety of personalities, right? So then when you get into like a data center hyperscaler type environment, I know how to interact with people on a team that are from all different backgrounds. And in this area, it's important to have that. You have to have that.
Well, especially in this area.
Networking.
Yeah. So I hire for team fit, and I hire for essentially personality. Like, can you jive with the rest of my team? I can teach you to do the shit.
We're really big on personality hires. Like if you have the skills or even something that's like resembling the skills, that's a bonus. But Jeff, for example, Nozar, he just started Iron Mountain back in December. And because I told him, like, hey, like, I think you'd be a good fit. He was looking for a change of, career change and change of lifestyle. And he brought no, like, data center skills, but they interviewed him, they liked him. They're like, you know what, like he's a good fit. We think he'll jive with the rest of the team. We can teach him what he needs to know to be successful in his job, but like he has the foundation of the personality to fit in. So
yeah. And it's kind of how cars tie into it. Like I got into the data center world because of Steve Jones.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
I went to high school with him, and we built a Ford Focus in his garage. Like it was the first car that we had ever built a turbo kit for, and like took it all the way from like a base model car to a shop and watched it sit on the dyno. Like this is something we built with our hands, but that opportunity came up, and he was like, hey, I think you would be good in the data center world. Try it. And for me, it was scary. I'm like, I don't know. I got to go in as a contractor. Yeah. This is going to be wild. But again, cars kind of brought that all together, and it was a pretty cool experience.
So weird, dude.
Yeah.
It's like we're all living like a similar fucking.
We're all living parallel lives.
We're really the NPCs. Oh my God. Think about that.
Yeah, we're all doing the exact same thing.
It's the meme. This was always blank, and then it's the astronaut, and they got the astronaut behind him. Always
100%.
was. Always has been.
Damn it, working in data centers because I met people through cars. It's not edgy enough. No. I gotta go do something else. I gotta go be like a cucumber farmer or something.
Jesus Christ.
And not wear Crocs.
Not wear Crocs. Exactly. I got a question, and this may be kind of personal, but for those that are also building cars, all of us that are building cars and whatnot, and take the time and know just how much sacrifice is required to work on shit. Like I've experienced it in those last couple of years of just like staying locked into the garage and working on shit and building shit. The fucking B5 with the blown head gasket. How do you? Because I'm still learning, right? Like as a family person or family man, how do you maintain and manage not only your love for cars, but then also your family orientation? Like how do you do? I'll give you a reason why I'm asking. It's hard for me to explain to Lydia the passion that I have for cars while also maintaining like my love for like the family. You know what I mean? Because it's not that I love my family comes the family comes first. That's a common thing. And I know I'm like new to this and trying to play my role or whatever, but the lot of my, I guess, majority of my life has been surrounded behind cars. Like my uncle taught me as a kid and gave me fucking the first like Need for Speed and shit like that, and took me to car meets and car shows, and saw an FCR7, blah blah blah. But it's really hard to balance both, because I always have this constant I feel like that I'm spending more time on one and not on the other, and then there's going to be consequences of doing either of the two. So I'm trying to juggle both without having the anxiety or feeling guilty for doing one or the other. So how do you maintain your balance?
I don't say I've found the perfect balance, and I'm still working on that every day. But I would say prioritizing your family is obviously the biggest part, right? Sure. I have a hard time separating from, communicating with my friends about cars, or texting about cars, or looking on Marketplace, or whatever it might be when I'm home, and I'm trying to be better about that, right? When I'm home, set my phone down, spend some time with your family, right? Yep. Make sure you have a solid day to do your things with your family. I would say the biggest thing that has been pivotal in my kids' life is I never made them ride the bus. I made sure that I had a job to where I could drive them to school every day and pick them up, right? That 5 minutes, 10 minutes in the car means more than anything to them, right? You just get to engage one-on-one time with you. Yeah. That has been very important. And they're comfortable and having conversations with me and telling me about life changes and things like that, especially when you get teenagers, right? Like boyfriends come in, girlfriends come in, you start seeing them grow into adults. But my goal has always been to try to make them comfortable in talking to me, and that has the root of that is just time. It takes time. So I know if I'm going to spend the day Saturday working on my car, Sunday's my day with them, right? We're gonna get up in the morning. We're gonna go have breakfast together. We're gonna go do whatever you guys want to do, and then we're gonna hang out, right? Especially at the end of the day, right? I don't get a lot of time when I get home to really devote to much other than them. So when I come home, it's like, all right, let's have dinner together. We sit at a table together. I don't think families do that much anymore, right?
Yeah,
usually it's a screen in front of them.
Yeah.
We sit at a table,
Yeah.
you know, even if it's 20 minutes, we talk about our day.
Yeah.
Download your day with me. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
It doesn't require you to spend 10 hours every waking moment with, you know, your significant other, your kids, whatever that might be. If you have that, it's great. But
Yeah.
if you're able to focus just a small moment of time every day, it makes life great.
Hell yeah.
I can't say, you know, cars have never affected my relationship with family, kids, and, you know, my relationship, because it has, right? I'm like, oh, I got to go to the show. I got to be there. I really don't.
Yeah.
You know, as I've gotten older, I've realized that that's not important. You know, what was supposed to take me one winter to redo my car, I'm 2.5 years into it right now. But it's because I want it to be done right. And in order for it to be done right, it's going to take time. And I can't devote that time to it yet.
Yeah.
I try to sliver out some time to do that. But beyond it is, you know, my kids' football game is more important.
Right.
Whatever that is, the school event. I'm at every chorus concert, all of that.
Right.
Like, that is very important. I think that's what society misses right now. It's like somebody that's just there.
Yeah.
And they find the love for it.
Yeah.
You know, my son is not into cars like I am, but he likes the creative aspect of it. So we look at 3D prints together. He like makes stuff for our cars. Like, you know, my dad will send me stuff. Hey, can Aiden make this for me? Like, cool. Yeah. Let's mic it out. Let's measure all the things we need. And, you know, he'll make whatever, you know, my dad wants, to the point where they're talking about introducing this stuff at their shop, you know, 3D scanning, 3D printing.
dude.
But this is all like very original, like Concourse cars, but they have to make things.
Yeah.
Like, you can't go buy, you know, this specific part for like a Duesenberg,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
but they'll make it, and they're using that technology in there. And that's where like his creativity is kind of bridged that gap. And the other night I was like, hey, I really need a cup holder for my old square body pickup. And he was like, let's look through some files. So he pulls one up and he's like, hey, they make a replacement 3D print of a map pocket and a drink holder. He's like, it'll take like 5 hours, but I can print it. Hell yeah.
That's so sick.
Bolts right into the factory bolts. And I'm like, this is where technology is really cool in this world now.
And now it's blending the generations
Yeah,
together too.
100%.
That's
You know,
fucking
And it
wild.
gets him involved in cars in some capacity. Maybe not, like you said, maybe he's not interested in necessarily building the car, but he still kind of gets to be a part of that world in a way that he gets to enjoy it, which is awesome.
And I think he looks at a car the same way I do now, right? He's got an engineering mind. And like when I look at a car, I don't look at it as the whole. I look at the little individual pieces. And I think that's where the big connection is for he and I. Even my dad's the same way. Like, I can look at a car across a parking lot and say, oh, I want to go look at that. But when I get to it, I'm not like standing back. I'm looking at all the little intricacies and what they've done, what's different. You know, that's what really excites me in the car world, is seeing how somebody's creative mind works in there.
Yeah, they're good, aren't they?
They're all right.
Why don't we get fucking sponsored by Liquid Death?
We should. That would be a massive sponsor.
Yeah,
but
like, we have more cases
that would
down
be
there.
insane.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, we just stepped it way up. We got Liquid Death as a sponsor.
Yeah, hell yeah. Like, we
Our viewership, like,
Let me move my
quadrupled
Coke can.
overnight.
we drink that real water shit around here. So I think what I've gathered so far from like I don't want to call it like the USDM car culture, but because like we are in the States, right? But it's like mini trucking and classics and whatnot, or American classics. It's like it's much more. It's paying more of a homage to like how car culture was, and it held like that culture or the habits and the culture of like Burger King meats and whatnot. It just never got rid of that. Whereas like I think the Euro scene is kind of like that too. Like the VW kids are like we've been the same.
So when you say Euro scene, I immediately just only think of Volkswagen.
I know
There's other cars, but I'm just like, so Volkswagens.
Yeah, dude. Like Beamerfest, I think is that still a thing? Is Beamerfest still a thing?
I don't know. But we're not recording right now, right?
No, we are. We're on.
Oh, we are?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
I haven't stopped. Yeah. Dude, this thing's been
all
going.
candid.
I was gonna say you're
Yeah.
gonna have to chop the shit out of this.
Oh, dude, it took me 2 weeks to edit our last one because it was 4.5 fucking hours long.
Well, because what I was gonna say, and whether it's recording or not,
Yeah.
is one thing I would be interested to hear from you on is having dipped your toes in a lot of different facets of the car scene. Is there anything you learned from the import scene that creatively helps you with muscle cars? Or is there anything from the muscle car scene that kind of helps influence your decisions with mini trucks? Like, how do those things, are they strictly parallels, or do they blend together a lot? And if they do blend together, how so?
I would say the scene maybe not so much, but I mean, for me specifically, like if I go to a show, I'm looking at a car like we were talking about. I'm looking at pieces of it. I'm looking at all of the details of it. And to kind of pull it together. So last year we went to Columbus Good Guys. It's a big national event in Ohio. And it's where they do Street Machine of the Year and Muscle Car of the Year. So this is like 7-figure build cars.
She's been there.
Yeah?
What do you think about it? Yeah?
Yeah.
She's in Ohio. She's from Ohio.
Nice. Have you ever been to Cavalcade?
Yeah, oh
Yeah.
Yeah, see? I didn't know fucking the Midwest had such a insane
It's
car
everywhere.
culture.
It's huge. Yeah.
Crazy.
Which is crazy because it's a seasonal area like it is here, right? You
Yeah.
got like really shitty winters, but they have one of the biggest indoor car shows right in the middle of wintertime.
Damn.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like
That's risky
the
as
beginning
shit.
of January.
Yeah.
They have like this Cavalcade of Customs is what they call it. It's like a huge indoor World of Wheels, like
That's tight.
hundreds of cars inside. But it's where they do a lot of the ISCA judging and point systems, and it's how you stay in the scene. But we go to Columbus every year, and like I said, it's where they do Muscle Car of the Year, Street Machine of the Year. So it's like the best of the best. You have all the builders that are in the entire United States bringing cars out here, and they're $500,000 to 7-figure cars, and they're real deal heavy hitters. I can't afford to do that, but I look at bits and pieces of what they're doing, and I try to take that into how I'm putting cars together. And so Dutch Boys, I'm sure you've probably seen the car that they built on Instagram. They built a Grand National that's wide bodied, and it's stupid low, twin turbo LSX. If you look up Dutch Boys Grand National, you'll see it. It is
Right on Google.
hands down one of the baddest cars ever built. They had that there and 2 other builds that were competing for Street Machine of the Year. And they had a really nice Camaro. I was kind of going through it, and the one thing that caught my eye was a hood strike. They had this really weird hood latch and assembly that was on this car. The one thing I've always hated about my car was the big spring that's under the hood and the catch, because it sticks down like 6 inches. You hit your head. I've got like gashes on my head still from it. But I've always wanted to come up with another way to get rid of that. And I saw on this car that it had some weird mechanism. I'm thinking they made it. This is a shop that does one-off stuff.
Yeah.
So there's a guy sitting behind it, and I'm like, hey, strange question. That hood latch, what is that? He goes, oh, it's from a GTI. And I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, it's like a mid-'80s GTI. He's like, I just went on eBay with the measurements I had, and I found that it was a hood strike for like a 86 or 7 GTI. So I get back to the hotel. I'm like, look it up. $20, send it to the house. It fit in the factory location of all of the shit that I already had on my car.
That's insane.
So now I have a hood latch assembly from
That low-key
Volkswagen. And
Volkswagen guy.
Yeah, 100%, dude.
Hey,
like,
hey.
hey, Farfanugan, man. Like,
Yeah, put that up, Eddie.
we're gonna get him a vape right now.
But no, for real, like I try to take little pieces of that, and even in the stance scene. Like there are things that the guys are creating in that world that translate. Like the how you get your car to sit the right way, right? Like I'm not a big fan of the cambered out cars. Yeah. But there's geometry involved in that, you know, and it's not for me. Yeah. But seeing somebody do it the right way is pretty wild. You know, mini trucks, that was probably the biggest influence in my Pontiac. Like I learned how to put air on a car because of that. Yeah. You know, I built the whole air system off parts from mini trucks. Yeah. And it's just, it's all intertwined somehow. And I've continued to do that all the way through. Like I said, even the daily drivers that were kind of OEM plus, like my Lexus, I ran those 370Z wheels on my Lexus for a long time because they looked so good. Oh yeah. And I've tried to continue that through, like even my Tahoe. I had newer generation everything in that to just be different. But yeah, I've tried to take some of those facets from each one and see what they're doing. And
that's so, and like this like that, talking about this Grand National is like, it also did the same thing. It's pulled so many different, like the high radiusing fenders, the inlets and the headlights and stuff like that. Like
you're starting to see so much aero getting introduced into the muscle car scene. Yeah, like some of it's a little overkill, but it's wild, like how rampant like technology has become in that scene. Like,
how do you stay creative?
It's hard. Yeah, it's hard, right? You know because and that's how I look at it now. Because for the longest time, I was, you know, in the area the only one that had a pro touring GTO. Yeah. Then you got to these national events and you're like, oh shit! Like I just saw one of the highest caliber cars I've ever seen, like mine, and you know, it's on a full Roadster Shop chassis. It's got all the bells and whistles. And my goal is to try to get there one day, but I can't afford to do it. You know, you see these guys, you know, like a chassis itself. You want a chassis for a car, like a Roadster Shop chassis, they're $40,000 just for the chassis. Yeah. You know, then you add everything else into that and you can quickly see how you can spend hundreds of thousands of dollars in these cars.
Yeah, like on the topic of like mini trucking, like what I was telling Josh, like I think my legit one and only SUV, if I ever was to spend, again, if I had fucking money, would probably be like a Fat Fabs fucking Escalade. Oh, yeah. And like that chassis alone is like 80 to 100 grand. Yeah. And so now I'm in this point where I'm like, well, I can pull a motor, like it's not at all the same like caliber of fucking effort, but it's like I can pull a motor out of a Mark II. I should probably just weld a chassis, and it's like, no. Dude,
there's only one way to learn, man.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying.
You have to just do it.
That's the whole curiosity part that we're going back to. It's like, dude, it's like just, I think if we put more people in survival mode where they just have to like for modding cars, it was started for me is maintenance and repair. I had to get this shit done because I couldn't go to school or work. So it's like if we did more of that, like less fail safes and more get the fuck in there and do shit.
Absolutely. Take the guardrails off. Let it go. Exactly. Like my friends are like, oh man, like I'm afraid to paint this thing. Who cares if you fuck it up? Sand it down and paint it again.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Like just like welding. Yeah. You know, I got into welding when I was 11 or 12 years old, putting floor pans in cars with my dad. And the worst thing you can do is burn a hole in it. Yeah. So what do? You weld it back up. Yeah. Who cares? Yeah. Right? Like that. There's ways to fix it. Like you just have to break it. You kind of got to go back to the grassroots of, let me just take this toy apart and figure out how to put it together. You need to do that full scale. Yeah. That's just where it comes
Maybe
back
that's
down
what
to.
it is. Maybe it's just like maybe somehow like car culture or personalities or people are somehow still tied to like economy, social media, and like, you know, somehow in some way COVID too, where like people are afraid to fuck up. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like imagine if and this is actually very real to Meredith and I, like if one of our cars did fail, we wouldn't be able to go to work. Within, you know, 1 to 2 months, we wouldn't be able to pay for rent if we still had a car down. If we couldn't pay for groceries and all, like that level of, if I make this mistake and fuck up, you know what I mean? Like I will not be able to do X, Y, and Z. Whereas like maybe like that's why a lot of kids are afraid to do shit that involves like maybe detrimental impact to their cars or whatever, but they somehow still do omni camera bullshit. I don't understand.
I also think like in social media, people share too much of the wins, right? You see all of these happy families and all of these creative things that people are doing. You don't see the loss, right? You don't see the dedication it took to build a thing or do the thing. So, anyone jumps online, they're like, oh, check out that incredible car. Oh, I can do that. Well, then you realize how much energy
They don't see the whole
and
process
sacrifice
to get
it
to there.
takes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and that kind of creates this vicious circle
Yeah.
of, coming back to what's quick and easy.
Yeah.
What gets me the most likes, what gets it on Instagram fast. Like,
What's the easy button that I can hit? You know, and it creates a culture of just cutting corners, and the other thing too is especially with social media is what you see on like an Instagram post, like you see a car and it looks amazing in the Instagram post, and you see that car in real life. And I've had that happen a lot. Like there are cars that were really well known in different walks of the, in the stamp scene, the import scene, whatever. And you see a car and dude's got a gajillion followers. All of his pictures have a gajillion likes and whatever. And it looks like a really cool, well put together car. But then you see it up close in person, and it's just like you just see the corners that were cut. You see the shoddy bodywork. You see the peeling wrap. You see the wheels have oxidation on the lips, and it's like to some degree you give a little bit of grace, because if it's a car that actually gets driven, like my 3000 GT by no means is perfect. It's got an aging wrap on it. It's got when I first put the wheels on, the rear were compressing into the quarter panels, and I have a really finite scratch around the edge of the lip because I had to rebuild my coilovers to get stiffer springs, and there's little things. But I drive the car, so like I give some grace because I realize like if you're going through the motions of driving it, shit's gonna happen. But like I'm talking like you had people out there who were like influencer level people who were like known for their cars, and then you see their car in real life and you're like, I don't know, man, that's not really as advertised. But to like Corey's point, people only share with you what they want you to see, and you're only going to see a slice or a version of what the total reality is there. Yeah. Whether it's the end product or whatever the case may be, it's kind of like if you really want to pull back the curtain and see things for how they are, you have to look at it through a different lens than what you're just seeing. Yeah. Like the end product on social media. Yeah.
So mini trucking, which is I'm actually in the bagged mini trucks Facebook group, like a few of them where like there's like bagged mini trucks for sale and a whole bunch of stuff. Cause it's been a thing that I've loved for a long time, and I've legit almost bought that blue bag Ranger, light blue Ranger with the red wheels that was here. That I like legit was about to pull the trigger. He only wanted $2 or $3 grand for it, and I almost.
It's an easy market to get into, right? Because unfortunately, that whole scene was trial and error. Yeah. Like you would go to a mini truck show and 90% of the trucks were primer. Yeah. But I knew it was guys that were in the garage building it themselves. You maybe had one or two like cookie cutter shop built trucks that were there. Yeah. Everything else was like, oh, I know that guy built it in his driveway. Right. Like, and I respected that. And you're still seeing that scene, and it still exists. It's big. Yeah. And now you have those guys who are adults and grown up with families, and they're going out to look for their old trucks. There's actually a Facebook page. It's like OG Mini Trucks or something like that. And guys are always posting, hey, here's my picture from '96. Has anyone seen this truck? Yeah. And they'll put the pieces together, and you'll see it later on. And they're like, yeah, I found it, went picked it up. And they're resurrecting these old builds. That is kind of the embody of what Joey's show is, that attitude check. Yeah. You see these guys that have been in that scene for so long, and it comes back full circle.
I love going through that marketplace on the same topic of like effort and building and whatnot. Is like what I do unfortunately see is a lot of unfinished mini trucks that are up for sale, because and I think this ties into my thought process of wanting to get into mini trucking but not understanding how much effort is involved. Because I think that most mini trucking like that, or the mini truck community or environment is 100% show built, right? It's like you're bringing your hardest effort to a showground, and it's like, what's going to separate you from the other builds? Like I don't think that most people get into that caliber of building to not put it on a fucking showground or to make it look like anything else. You know what I mean? Like, it's almost like if you're getting into low riding and you don't 100% it, you're gonna look.
You stand out.
You stand out. You know what I mean? Like if you're not putting, but it's really difficult to look like any other lowrider in the lowriding community because there's so many ways to be creative in building that
I mean, you want to get into time and investment. Like that scene, that lowriding scene is wild.
Yeah.
Like the amount of time and detail. Like that's like I don't know that I'd ever build a lowrider, but I look at them. Like if I'm at a show and there's one, I'm going through it. Like,
I watch YouTube videos every once in a while on like lowriders and stuff, and it's just like makes you feel like depressed about your own car. Like you think your own car is cool, and like you think you've put a lot of like time and detail, and and then you go out and you see like a lowrider, and it's like, dude, even the undercarriages, like they have like hand engraved components on the undercarriage, hand polished, 24 karat gold plated, control arms and stuff, and you're just like, holy
they're
shit.
chroming the chassis of these cars.
It's insane
It's
the amount of
but yeah, it's
detail that goes
it's a
into it.
labor of love. It's how much you want to invest into it, and there becomes a point where you're never going to get your return, right? And I think that's where we all kind of just eat it. We're like, I'm too far into this project now. Like I'm either going to cut my loss or I'm just going to keep it forever.
Hey Siri, play In Too Deep by Sum 41.
But that's why you'll see those mini trucks. Like it's those guys that got really into it. They dedicated their time, made all the sacrifice, and it just never got done. Or it got too. Yeah.
It's the same wall too. It's like right before paint. I don't get it. You know what I mean? It's always
right
like
there, and they're like,
because like they do like the wildest shit, like the Cadillac lights or like the shave lights, and like you know what I mean. And they go through and add like a whole bunch of primer spots where you see like people have welded, did the body work and whatnot, and then like 4-link suspension and the bed's off. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden it's the same wall. It's like bam. Right before fucking paint.
Because that's where all the additional money comes in. Like it's very expensive to paint a car. I don't know if you've painted a car anytime recently, but my Pontiac, when my dad and I first built it, total investment we had probably under 13 grand in the entire car.
Yeah.
That's everything. Paint, interior, suspension, wheels. I mean, that was a different time. But now, fast forward to a couple years ago when I took the car off the road to repaint it. Like, granted, it was just to fix a couple rust spots, and I went a little overkill. But paint's, $2,000-3,000+ a gallon. It takes 2 gallons of paint to shoot my car. I'm that invested into just a repaint and altercations that I've done with my car or altering my car now. I'm about 12 or 13 grand into just repainting it.
Because you guys do your own work, right?
Do it all myself.
So
the only thing I'm not doing is shooting the car. I've traded that work out.
Sure, but the material is 2 to 3 grand a gallon.
A gallon, yeah.
What the fuck?
And it's a factory color. It's a factory Nissan color.
I remember
It's
when
a 350Z orange?
It came on the Nissan Sentra in 2003. Remember the SCR?
Wait, really?
That's the color.
Oh, that's fucking sick. I did not know that.
Yeah.
I didn't think that the materials was that much. I remember when you can get cars painted for 2 to 3 grand. Like it was a Mako job, but like,
Well, yeah.
Holy
I mean,
shit.
you'll have a hard time finding somebody that will paint your car that's not Mako for 10 grand.
Wow.
And then you add everything else. It used to be, when I would go look for a car, I would look for a car that needed body work that ran good.
Yeah.
Because,
could
a
do
motor was expensive.
Yeah.
Now it's the opposite.
Yeah.
I can rebuild a motor for a couple $1,000s, but it'll cost me 10 grand to do the body work and paint it. And then you factor in somebody else's labor, to do a show car quality paint job. I mean, it's easy to see 50 or 60 grand to do a car just to paint it.
That's why they hit that wall. That's why I always see those, those trucks.
Yeah.
I'm so glad.
Paint and body by all accounts is almost always the most expensive portion
That and
of a
show
build.
wheels, like
and interior. I mean,
It's
yeah.
rare that
you
another
see,
one.
it's
Yeah.
rare that you see, a car in the stance world or import world where they do a full interior.
Right.
Yeah.
But we built that red F100 for Bobby. It's literally a bench seat, 2 door panels, and carpet. And we were calling around to some of the bigger shops because he wanted it done by specific folks, and they wouldn't touch it for $25,000 for a bench seat, 2 door panels, and carpet. Doesn't even have a headliner in it. It's painted. Holy shit! But it's what materials and labor's worth now.
Dude,
it's crazy.
Where is the line?
So that's where when
Like,
you look at Mecum or Barrett Jackson and people are like, oh, they want $200,000 for that car. I guarantee you they have double that in it.
yeah.
There's a wall you have to stop. And in the mini truck, street rod, hot rod, muscle car world, you have to cut it.
Meredith, you're gonna have to learn how to fucking paint.
Yeah.
If you wanna do Cassius
do upholstery.
Red on that fucking Mark II, yeah, and you're gonna have to learn to do upholstery because I am not dropping $25,000 on a fucking paint job.
I mean, I'm not opposed to spray bombing stuff. I spray palm
Yeah.
my tailgate of my truck.
What I've seen people do, so like Bobby, can't remember his last name, used to run Blockstar. Bobby.
Oh
What's his last name?
shit.
I don't know.
Yeah.
He runs the Mako out in like Springfield, and what he'll do is because he's very big into cars, and obviously he does like the Mako resprays for the NPCs.
Yeah.
Crashing their Teslas.
Yeah, they're crashed Teslas. But
Their
but
Crocs
no, what,
slipped on the accelerator. Ran into something.
they ran into another Tesla that's the exact same make, model, color, everything.
I'm going to work.
I'm going to work. But no, he's big on like if you bring him a car that's already prepped.
Yeah.
Because prep is obviously a big piece of it. If you can block it, if you can tape it off, whatever. He'll do like a decent paint job for you, but then you're still gonna go. You're gonna pay a decent amount. You're gonna pay more than your Mako amount.
Yeah.
But you're taking all the prep work out. It might not be perfect, but like you gave it the old college try. But then you're still gonna take the car after, and it's gonna get a lot of post work with like wet sanding, buffing, and all that. So you're kind of sectioning it out to maybe save money here and there, but I say this to say there are other alternatives where it just depends on how much effort you're willing to you yourself give, like maybe like the prep or the post if you know how to wet sand and buff. But it seems like there are options that
I think there are levels
can
to
make it
right?
like where it's not completely gate kept behind like a price barrier, where you can kind of section it out to more manageable chunks.
Yeah, there are ways to do it, and I would say it's kind of universal, right? If I'm looking for a car that's a good 20-footer that I can cruise into, Katie's or whatever it might be, Dulles. Yeah, sure, you can find somebody to do a quick scuff and shoot for a few grand, right? You're gonna spend more material, and you're gonna spend a lot of your time prepping it.
Yeah.
They're not gonna take the door handles off, the mirrors off of it. Your rubber's gonna have overspray on it. Like
Right.
that's the level. But when you want to compete in like the show car world, it's not cheap.
That's like the caliber that I think that you and I am looking for now because of so many times do I see the same shit over and over again where it's like I don't know if a lot of people are going to invest that amount of time and money into like old Volkswagens again because like it's kind of I don't want to say it's dying, you know what I mean? But like a lot of the older Volkswagen heads are kind of growing off and doing their own, they're growing up, right? But like what hasn't left or changed, and I see this all the time, and I definitely haven't spent a lot of time researching, is like fucking like American Muscles or American Classics and like the Concourse style of show car. That is a caliber that is 10x of what the shit that we're used to seeing.
It's all very subjective to the type of car though, and the type of car that it is going to be competing against. So in your world, like in the muscle car hot rod scene, you don't have wrapped cars on reps. You know what I mean? Like they just don't exist.
Sure.
So everything is just, very high caliber, very, very high caliber paint jobs, very high caliber wheels. Whereas like the world that, like, for my 3000 GT, the world it kind of lives in. Like, my 3000 GT by no means is like a super high caliber build.
Sure.
I've gone out of my way to procure very specific parts for it, and like I take a lot of pride in little things. But I mean, it's wrapped. It's, you know, it's not. It doesn't have some crazy reupholstered interior. I mean, it's got some seats that anybody could buy. It's got some, you know, whatever that anybody could go out and buy. I mean, a lot of the stuff on it's discontinued.
I'm buying a Tesla and I'm putting those seats in.
But no, I say this to say, like,
Put that on your Tesla.
Yes.
I say this.
The bag one with the fucked up license plate.
I say this. I'll frame it like this: my 3000 GT does very well because of the type of cars that it's often pitted against. They're built with that same caliber.
Did you just admit to punching low?
No, but that's just the kind of car I'm into.
Are you level 99 boss?
The kind of car I'm into punches at a different weight class than the kind of car he's into. And
Yeah.
because I also am I have a huge cheat code that I got a car that is already extremely rare and weird to begin with.
Yeah.
There's no other 3000 GT spiders that I'm competing
what I'm
against.
saying-
It's
what-
like me versus myself.
What you need to do is we need to get you an investor that will give you fuck you money, so that way you can do
dude,
shit. If you had an unlimited bank account.
If I had an unlimited bank account and I was building my 3000 GT still, like, it would be insane.
Yeah.
I do things within the financial means and, you know, within the resources that I have. There's a lot of things that I would do. Looking back, you know, of the 7 years I've had that car, I've grown financially. There's a lot of things that I will eventually redo.
Yeah.
One of which being the wrap. I mean, I love the wrap, but it's old at this point. It's, you know, it's running out of juice.
Sure.
And I probably will go against every bone in my body, and I probably will paint the car, even though it's a super extremely rare car.
Yeah.
But it's either that or I just wrap it every 5 years. That seems really stupid.
Yeah.
But no, like, to bring this all back in, if you were to go and take my 3000 GT and put it in a show, if it's somehow black sheeped its way into a show like the type of shows that Corey goes to,
Yeah.
and you were to pit it next to another car of that genre and that caliber, I mean, those cars are going to shit on my car.
Yeah, but I think you also have driver quality. You have the guy that built stuff in his garage,
Right.
And they take it to shows. Like, I mean, you'll go to that show in Ohio, and there's probably 2/3 of it.
Oh, and people are
Yeah.
traveling all
Yeah.
over the place in the Midwest.
But they're
too.
driving them, you
Yeah,
know,
true.
they're driver quality cars, and that's great. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. And as I get older, the more I crave that. That's what I'm doing
Yeah.
with my square body truck. Is like, I don't want it to have a nice.
Well, it's a
engine
driver's
on it.
quality car.
I want
Yeah.
it to be low with the right set of wheels on
Yeah.
it, and I don't care if it's patinaed and it's
Yep.
cool, right?
Yeah.
I just want to drive it. But there is that next level where, you know, you do see everyone going above and beyond, where it's one-off pieces, and you start finding that line, and that's where I'm at now. Is I can't afford to do the high-end chassis or all of these one-off parts. I don't have a 3D scanner. I don't have a way to cast parts.
Yet.
Where these guys,
Pretty soon
have
your
these-
son,
I hope so.
he's going to be building all the cool
But
stuff
these guys
for you.
that you go to a show with and park next to, they have that.
Right.
They have that unlimited fuck you money
Yeah.
per se. But for me, I can't compete on that level, but what I can do is go above and beyond in the detail.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I can make sure that all of my body lines are straight, everything's sharp. Like,
That's it.
that's the biggest thing that always stuck out on the cars that we build compared to a lot of your standard stuff, is taking the time to sharpen a line.
Yeah.
Right? Making sure that body line's really defined. It can be the same exact color as your car, but that line's going to be crispy all the way down.
Yeah.
Right? That gap is going to be the same all the way around the
That's
door.
that's such an art.
Dude.
Because he was showing me, like, when you were talking about, it's called gapping the car.
Yeah.
Because, like, to me, if not for being friends with you, I wouldn't even know what that means. Because that is very much, that you don't hear about, like, other 3000 GT dudes aren't being like, hey man, you gapped your hood. Like, that just doesn't happen.
I'm at the
right?
factory 2 millimeter gap between panels.
But he was telling me, and it's like, it's crazy to me because looking at your GTO even before you took it off the road to, make some revisions, respray it. Like I look at that car as like that thing's pretty much perfect in my eyes.
Yeah.
But there's
Agreed.
I'm a huge advocate for the devils in the details. I'm huge on doing little, like with my 3000 GT, I do a lot of little random things to it that nobody's ever going to know or appreciate unless I tell them about it. But I know it's there. I appreciate it, and at the end of the day, I build my cars for myself. But you're telling me like, oh yeah, like we're gonna make this line on this hood. We're gonna make it more flush to the fender, and I look at it, I'm like a millimeter because it's already perfect. You're like, yeah, like a millimeter, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
But I mean, I think that's so awesome.
That's
like,
what sets it apart. That's what gets you to that next bracket. Is I can't tell you how much 1/8" rod we've welded in that car to get the gaps right. Just to make it better than it was. But again, that car wasn't originally built for that.
Right.
Like when we first built that car, my dad was going to drive it to work every day because he only worked a couple miles down the road. He was going to drive it to work, and on the weekends we were going to go to car shows. Like that was the plan for it while he finished his other car.
Just kind of a good all-arounder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It's crazy. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, but we ended up taking it to a show down in Charlotte at the Motor Speedway. It was the first Good Guys event that we had attended with that car. And it got like a builder's pick there. Somebody in the industry saw it and was like, hey, that's badass. I'm going to give you an award. Yeah. And like, while that's great, I think the recognition for a builder to see something like that means 10 times more than a piece of plastic.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, for sure.
It's somebody who knows what they're looking at, came and saw it, and they were like, I see the detail.
I think that's what we're missing, dude.
And that's where the award thing comes in.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people are like the trophy chaser and all of that, or folks that get upset when they go to a show and they don't win something. It's cool to get recognition, but for me, like that's more on the, getting it from the community rather than somebody subjectively picking my car.
So it's like, in comparison to, I know this is very tough to compare both the Concourse style car show and like our generation, or I guess the newer generation's car shows.
Yeah.
It's like when we were talking to Danny about judging cars and whatnot. So the conversation that we had is like a lot of the times he said that when you go to a car show and the judges are judging off cars, it's basically like knowing who your judges are going to be or what kind of car show you're at. Because if you were to bring in old, 19 whatever, old, classics, anything, you know what I mean? And the judges don't particularly know anything about that car or what it was in its factory form or what you've done to it, it'll probably be overlooked because it's not based off of what the current judges can recognize as, effort. What I think I've noticed is that in the Concourse, I'm calling it Concourse show car culture or something like that. I don't know what else to call it yet. But there are definitive values in judging when it comes to that caliber of car show. So if there is a defined, not prerequisite, but if there are categories of your vehicle that you have to build to exceed, or meet or exceed like that, I guess like show quality or that show whatever, then you know what to look for or build for, or if you didn't before, you know now. Like if I'm gonna go show my car, it better be matching numbers or gap in body panels and whatnot, or maybe like the interior has to be spec to a certain thing, or
they're taking a paint meter around to it.
No, yeah, 100%.
Seeing if there's bodywork and stuff.
But because it's defined, because there is a definition of what makes a show car in the Concourse area, it is almost easier to judge because now you know what the judges are looking for in order to make that or consider that car to be, a show car.
It's not, and it exists even outside of that Concours, like my numbers matching whatever one of one type of car. Yeah. Like there are point systems associated to that.
Right.
But it's not the nicest of the nice. It's actually on originality. Like there are factors in it. Who owned this car before? What's the history behind it? What? Was this a famous race car? Who was the driver? Like that's the Concourse way.
I think that's awesome.
And there's
that's
a point
cool.
system for originality, right? Yeah. This is where, and I can't go too far into detail, but the work that my dad does, they over restore a car to the point where it almost takes away from the point system, right? they're using the original parts or they're making parts for it, but none of those cars in the day were made perfect. All the way to current, like you've seen brand new cars where the door gaps suck.
Yeah,
like
Mike Burrows from Stance Works was talking about like old Ferraris, like how they're kind of cobbled together, but they're all hand built, which makes them all slightly different from one another.
I can give you an example. I went in my dad's shop one day and they had a 250 Ferrari 250 on a jig, and it was just the body on a rotisserie. And he said, "Watch this. Pull the tape measure." The car was 2.5 inches shorter on one side than the other because you had one guy building this side of the car and another guy building that side of the car. They're very crude. But if you go to a Concourse show, you're judged on that. They know that.
They want it to be
they
lopsided.
They want it to be lopsided. They don't want it to be perfect.
Wow.
But you splash into the street rod world, the muscle car world, what we're doing now with like resto mods. There is a lane for that point system. So like the ISCA is like the International Show Car Association. They have a point system. So in order to stay in there, you have to go to so many shows. You have to get so many points in order to continue to climb. And I'll kind of get how this comes full circle to the mini truck world here in a second. But let's say I go to this show in Chicago. The next show is in California. I have a week to get there. I got to set up. I got to show to get these points to go to the Grand National at the end of the year, and I have to have X amount of points to compete for the title, right? To pull it full circle, Eddie Gordy has been in the mini truck scene forever and building super cool trucks since the 80s and 90s. You can go on any OG forum and find him. Him and his daughter rebuilt B2200 that he had, extended cab.
The Nissan?
Yeah. It's a Mazda B2200. And they call it Cookies and Cream. It is a rotisserie built, nut and bolt, like the closest thing you can get to like a Riddler winner for a mini truck.
Fuck yeah.
And he travels to every ISCA show, and he has been the grand champion in that category for a couple years. But it's a lot of time.
So that sounds like a
he
lot
travels
of dedication.
probably half the year. He also still runs a shop. He's also still building killer shit, and he's focusing.
Well, at least with that,
but
with having a shop, at least he's in traveling, competing, and like showing it all over the United States. It is kind of like free. Not I don't want to say free marketing for his shop because obviously it takes a lot of money. To go out and do this, but he's kind of inadvertently advertising his work. So at least there is like a potential return on investment.
So that quality exists in those categories as well. There's import categories in the ISCA that does exist. But where I think you have the divide out of the like, let's say like the street rod world, or you go to like a Good Guys event or NSRAs like the National Street Rods. If you go to those events, all of their picks are a representative of the business. So it's like, the National Street Rod Association, they'll have members that will pick a car, right? Or pick cars. There's a representative from all 50 states that'll go there and pick cars. Good Guys is builder. So it'll be, okay, this is the builder who's overseeing the show. They pick their top 10. And then you have, folks in the market, let's say it's a gauge company, it's a seat company. They all sponsor an award and they get to pick a car. It's not you or me. They don't have paid judges. It's just a pick. It's what they like. And it's just what they see and they like, right? When you go to a local car show, this is Joe Schmo from down the street that doesn't probably know much about cars. He just has a general interest, and you want him to go stack your car versus mine. While they're both unique in their own category, there's a lot of differences. You have to split that out. And that's, I know he talked about Cody's 65 Roses show, and you were there for that. I've been judging that show for the last 8 years or so, and this is the past one. But I never judge the category that we show in. So like, we always have a group of guys that come down with us, and they're all muscle cars, hot rods, things like that. I will not judge that category. I do either modern domestics or I do another category because I don't want there to be any conflict of interest. And Cody agrees. I think that's how it should be, right? I don't agree with a friend of a friend. I don't want bias, recency bias, any of that stuff involved. So I'll go and judge a different category. The problem is like the modern domestic category is like 150 cars.
And wait, pause. What are 140 of them?
Here we go. Mopar.
CTS.
No, I was just
Mopars.
saying, Chargers and Challengers.
Yeah, you get a lot of that. But
With RGB lights.
Yeah.
what ends up happening is you'll have a finite bucket of cars, and let's say there's 10 in that category that are built. And when I'm saying built, they have modifications that they didn't
Like the
just
two that
call
were
in.
there at 65
They're
Roses
not my
last year.
style,
Yeah.
and I have to take that out, right? I can't have skin in that game. I wouldn't put Lambo doors on a Camaro. I wouldn't put suicide doors on a Camaro, but those guys put in that effort. Their trunks were like reverse opening, hoods reverse opening, like
Sick.
crazy suspension work, wide bodied, and I'm comparing this to a stock CTSV
Yeah.
or a bone stock wide body Hellcat.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
Yeah.
It's a car show. Like I can't give everybody an award, but to me, this is the person that devoted the most time and brought the A game there. I think I'll get some hate for this, but when it comes to a car show like that, if you have the best car there, or let's say you're the best of show and you don't have the best engine, you don't have the best wheels, you don't have the best paint, you're not the best of show to me.
Yeah.
Right? So I get that folks don't want to stack trophies because it looks bad for the show, but if you didn't bring the best car, how are you best of show?
Right.
That's how I look
There's
at it.
such a weird, like, it's just, not a weird, but there is a comparison to what you're saying with like local car shows in a sense where like you were saying, the gentleman with the cookies and cream, BT 2200, right? He's advertising his shop essentially with his car, or with his truck. Like he is basically showing this is winning best of show every time. If you want to come to work, we will come do your work, so on and so forth. So like in the smaller car scene version of that, or like I guess you could say like the TikTok or Instagram car scene version of that, it's literally the same thing on a much smaller like economic base, I guess, where it's like I'm gonna go do the hottest boy shit that I can do to advertise my profile, so I can do it. And the end game isn't the same. Like maybe someone's just doing this for their career, but it's like in social media presence, I guess, whereas someone else is advertising for their shop. You know what I mean? And so it's almost like it's comparative in a weird way.
But that comes full circle to doing things for the right reason.
Right, exactly.
Building the guy with the mini truck, building it because you're passionate about it, building it because you want to showcase your fabrication skills, your paint and bodywork skills, and like you're going out and you're showing your vehicle to kind of bring awareness to, oh my gosh, I just had a handful of Bart hair.
I see it.
It was like just an explosion of cat hair when I did that because I've been sitting here rubbing
It's like
his
you're
belly.
smoking.
That is, to me, anyways, and this is just purely my opinion, that is very different than going out and, hooning and doing stupid things to, if your business platform, like it's basically to say your business platform of building custom mini trucks or custom cars, whatever, versus your business platform is I make viral content that's two completely different things.
Sure.
And so I think the, building something and showing it to promote this thing makes perfect sense. I think being into cars to go and do, chase clout and virality and stuff like that, I think that, and again, this is purely just my opinion, and I'm not saying I'm right or wrong, but I think that is just stupid.
But to play devil's advocate, if you had the opportunity to advertise your profile shop or whatever and mod your car for free, would you do it? Like if it paid for itself?
It depends on what I'm the wrong person.
Because it's the same. It's the
I
same
get that, but
goal.
I'm the wrong
You know what I
person
mean?
to ask
I get
that
where you're going
because
with this.
I totally understand where you're going with it, but I would say I am the complete wrong person to ask because I've been writing for S3 Magazine for 4 years now, since 2022. Right? That was always a lifelong dream of mine, was to do automotive. Like if you had asked me what my dream job was when I was in high school, I would have told you like point blank, like I would love to write for a large automotive print media like Import Tuner, Super Street, Sport Compact Car, Turbo, whatever. That was like my dream. Enter 2022, I was given the opportunity to write as a content contributor for them, like just kind of freelance, but I do all that for free. I've never asked for money for that.
Yeah.
And so I say I'm the wrong person to ask because, like, could I go and take what I do in some capacity with cars, with journalism, with that? Could I focus that into a way that could make me money? Absolutely. I just don't care because I do it all out of love. I do it out of passion. I enjoy writing about cars. I enjoy telling people stories. Same reason I enjoy doing this podcast. Like, I don't ask for anything. Me getting to hang out with my boys and just shoot the shit, that is my return.
What I mean is like, imagine...
I'm going to hit my mic and mess it up.
Oh, no, you're fine. Imagine like if my livelihood, my finances and whatnot depend on, which is or happens to be my hobby. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not saying they're the same. Yeah. But I feel like that it could be relative in a way where, the younger generation is trying to do something in order to make some sort of income. Sure. And so it could be relative to the same person who builds Concourse style, car builds. And they're going out and advertising and showing, or whatever, IPSA, right? I'm getting confused with USPSA, which is a gun or
ISCA.
ISCA, yeah. So it's like it's
International
kind of
Show Car Association.
Yeah. So it's kind of like that is their if the younger generation or even myself, right, had I think H2O did have this as a point-based system for judging cars back when it was on a showground. Don't quote me on that, but I think it was. But if like the show car for or European JDM whatever car show had like a point system based thing, they would be more focused on doing that kind of thing rather than being vibes based.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like because that's what I think the difference is like one is got a metric of value that you have to achieve, which also induces creativity and whatnot, but it's more focused. Whereas the other is like purely fucking vibes, dog. Yeah. Like, and it's just, which is weird because it takes away from, like it leaves more of an open-ended, I don't even think it leaves an open-ended question. Or like for creativity because all of these show cars are insanely creative, you know what I mean? But to a higher caliber, but there's something that's connecting the two together, and one of them is being, I think the main similarity is like, if you told me, if I had to quit my fucking job right now, which would be hard to do, that I could make my living off of doing crazy show car builds or show cars or just building shit for fun or even maintaining or whatever, and make a living off of that, I'd 100% I'd quit my job tomorrow.
But I think you have to find that market, and I think that's what Eddie did with his truck, right? He is on a points-based system. He knows he's hitting every mark. So the clients he's bringing in are folks
they want
that
the same
know
thing.
He's getting, like, it's not going to be cheap.
Yep.
You're getting this caliber, but it's not going to be cheap. If I'm doing hot boy shit, right? Like, you're going to attract that clientele. Yeah. You're not going to have group A come to group B and
just
say,
low IQ.
build my car.
Sorry.
The smooth brains.
But what I'm saying is, like, you
right.
have to find that avenue.
Yeah,
and I think the show car world is the same way, right? I get the promoter aspect. You want to bring people to it. You want to give everybody a chance to get an award or get recognized, whatever that might be. But, I don't put on shows for that reason, right? Yeah. My opinion is different than everybody else's. Yep. But if you wanted a fair car show to be judged, you have, or if you want to pick a best of the show, whatever that is, you do a participants award. It's everybody that's entered into the show picks the best car there. It's not your opinion. It's not your opinion. It's all of us collaboratively saying that's the coolest car here.
I agree with him a million% on that. Same thing for me. I'm very weird when it comes to my taste in a lot of things, especially being cars. The reason why I've never tried to monetize anything that I do, I've never tried to make money off anything that I do, is that I think getting what I do and what I like to appeal to a wide audience, I think that's just a lost cause, because the things that I'm into are very niche, they're very specific, they're very if you know, you know. Yeah. And I don't think that maybe I could, like, let's say hypothetically, if I had my own YouTube channel, maybe I get a couple thousand subscribers. It's never going to be enough to turn a living on. Sure. Because it's way too niche. It's not, my taste and my style is not for everybody, and that's perfectly fine. It's for me, it's what I like. Same thing with a car show. I would probably be one of the last people you would want to judge a car show, because go to a big car show, right? And you got all these super high caliber built cars, and there's like a fucking Isuzu Impulse with some like back shelf wheels that like, you know, are unobtainium that like are ugly as sin, but like if you know what they are, and like the car's just very clean, well kept. It's mostly stock. It's got a couple choice mods.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be like, that's the car that's gonna win, not the wide body FRS with, you know, 13 or 18 by 14 wheels and shit, because I'm gonna be like, yeah, but did you see that Isuzu Impulse? When's the last time you saw one of those modded? Did you see the crazy ugly wheels that are on it? Those haven't been made since 1991. Like,
we're definitely doing a Josh
you know what
Award.
I mean? Like,
when District Imports makes their first show.
that's why I'm self-aware.
Like a Josh Award.
I'm self-aware that I would not make
Tesla.
I would not make a good car show judge because I hyperfixate on like the weird, the obscure, the rare, the like, and that is not, at least like, especially like in the import scene, that is not really, that's not the vibe.
Yeah.
If that was the vibe, I'm going to sound like a douchebag here, but whatever. If that was the vibe, if that was how my 3000 GT would win all sorts of crazy shit all the time because it's so weird and obscure, but I know that that's not how it's going to get judged, and that's okay.
We're going to make a car show, and we're going to have the Josh Award, and it's going to be like the trophy that wins it. It's going to be like whatever Josh thinks is the coolest shit. The trophy that wins it is going to be like an 8-bit like tape that's welded to like a carrot that's built out to be like a stand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just like some wild shit. And nobody would ever know what it means, but it's provocative. So
I go to Dulles Cars and Coffee all the time, and like the cars that I take pictures of a lot of times, there will literally be like a McLaren whatever, and then there's like there's like a turbo Chrysler minivan next to it. Yeah. And I'm like, holy shit.
That's tight.
When's the last time you saw one of the factory boosted, you know, Dodge Caravans? And like that to me is so interesting, not the McLaren next to it.
So
So not to hurt your feelings, but I look at the cars in the background of photos you take because I'm like, man, you missed that one.
Yeah.
But a lot of times I take a lot of pictures of stuff, and I don't always go and upload them.
But I respect. I'd say the more car shows and meets I go to with you, like I understand it. I know why you like it.
Yeah. Because he pulls out like history.
And now I look at weird shit.
I love
you know what I mean?
I love the ugly duckling, unappreciated, just kind of lost to time, forgotten about cars. Like that to me, there's so much cool factor to that. Yeah. Like someone actually took the time and initiative and gave a shit enough to like keep one of these, insert weird rare car here, like the Isuzu Impulse. Yeah. They kept it roadworthy. They kept it clean. They actually are doing the due diligence to keep it on the road. Like that to me is so much cooler than going and getting a car that any average Joe could go get, throw some any average day parts on it. I'm like,
So I do appreciate Corey's stance on like, because when we used to judge cars, I based it off of effort. Mm-hmm. Like when it was whatever car category that I was picked to go or judge, it was basically based off of effort, and it was really hard for me to do because, to Josh's point too, there are certain cars that don't need a lot to look good, and like he said the same thing. There's a lot of cars that do not need a lot to look good. It could be as simple as like I'll just throw in a V70R on fucking like really nice, like, I don't know, like OZ Fittipaldis. You know what I mean? It would be rad because you don't get to see a lot of V70Rs, like older V70Rs on OZ
or modified ones.
Or modified ones,
in general.
Right.
Yeah.
And so if the dude's got that and like, you know, intake down pipe tune, whatever, pushes out 300 horsepower, I'm like, that's fucking sick because I don't get to see that often enough. But meanwhile, it could be next to another fucking car that's probably in the same category. Maybe it's just, and I'll throw it in this because I know this, but maybe it's a GTI and the dude's got literally every single thing you could possibly have done to it. Or maybe it's an older GTI and it's got every single thing it's got possibly done to it. And it could be, that person probably has like a story behind it where he's like, I saved this from like a barn find or whatever. And it'd be really hard for me to choose because one of them is fucking something I don't see a lot. The other dude, the guy in the Mark IV GTI, built his car up, has a long story to it, but still a fucking GTI. You know what I mean? So it's really hard for me to do both at the same time.
You have to take that out of it.
Yeah, I know.
It's hard.
That's why I'm not a car show judge.
It's hard. He walked around with me and I was like, this is going to be fun.
Yeah. I'm waiting for the day that we get to take the B5 and actually take it to like a car show, not knowing that like it would win. It would never win like an award by any means because the issue is we've spent like $8,000 to $10,000 fucking dollars on maintenance on that fucking thing just to get it to drive, and then it blew a head gasket. So it's like I spent all that time and money for nothing, and it was Yeah, just like a normal B5 shit.
17.
Yeah.
Or lose.
But like Josh did the same thing when you came down to Brandy Station. When he brought his car to a show that we went to.
I went
just
to like a
texted him.
major old head
like
car
an
show.
old
Oh, yeah.
car show, right?
yeah.
Like my grandfather has a '48 Fleetline Chevy. It looks
Yeah.
like an old bomb. It's freaking cool.
It's very cool.
But I was
All
like,
French
Josh,
bodywork.
bring your car down. Like we're gonna have fun, right?
Yeah.
And he brought his car down and saved him a spot right on the end. He pulled up, and literally all the old dudes were like, "That thing is wild."
That's
Everybody,
sweet.
it was like attracted them to it.
Hell
So
yeah.
it's not.
And I won an
don't-
award.
Yeah,
And he won
hell
an
yeah.
award. And
That's
that's what I'm
sick.
saying. Like, it is because it's different.
Yeah.
Right. Like
Yeah.
there are a lot of shows that you go to that need something like
Yeah,
that.
I think our goal with the Mark II, Meredith and I decided that the Mark II is like going to be our no holds barred kind of build, and so we're kind of doing it in weird phases. So like I'm trying to do things that I've seen or examples of. I'm trying to fit in. I'm trying to build the creativity into it and try to make it different. So like the other day I was researching fucking DTM connectors, which is a common race application wiring harness thing. You put onto, you go from like the ECU or sensors and whatnot, and it's all DTM connectors, and they're all really expensive connectors. It's a fucking $400 tool just a pin, and then it's a combination of like mil-spec connectors and whatnot that build the engine harness. My end goal is to do that because I love wiring, like really, really, and I love like clean
Wait, pause.
wiring.
You actually love wiring?
I fucking love
Dude,
cabling,
does
dude.
he know Joey?
Yeah. Do you know Joey?
Joey who?
What's his last name?
It
It was AJ. You lived with AJ for a little bit, right?
Yeah, he's
After
roommate.
you moved out, Joe
Joey.
moved in.
the
He's
hell
who
is his
replaced
name?
you.
I know his
Oh.
last name. I don't know why it's slipping my mind.
I don't know. His
I know
yeah,
him
I know
very
him well.
Shit.
I could.
But he
Wait,
builds custom harnesses. Like that's his.
Yeah, it's like
What
moon,
the
moonshine, moon.
Yeah,
something
Moon
performance,
Runner,
Moon
Moonlight,
Runner.
something like that.
Yo,
Moonlight.
exactly.
Dude,
I have
yeah.
questions.
Yeah.
Like
Something
I'm
moon.
getting a lot of
He's
my.
the guy.
I'm getting a lot of my information from Josh, but Josh is always busy and he.
Hannibus.
Hannibus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. No offense.
No, you definitely not getting that information from me. Dude, my head unit on my 3000 GT for years was we did it with hockey tape because we didn't have electrical tape. So I'm not the guy to talk to wiring about.
I'm like learning on what to do to make my wiring not only simplified but also like make sense. So I basically wanted to build. I was going through this rabbit hole of making like a breadboard where all of these sensors would connect to like a block where the ECU would then connect to in order to run a car. So that way you have a central point of location. It kind of sounds like a fuse block in a weird way, but it's instead of to a fuse block, it goes to the ECU. Where like all of your sensors would connect to a single place and it'd go out. So it'd make things a lot easier. Lo and behold, there's fucking electrical physics involved, and then once you add something to that, then all of a sudden there's impedance involved, so you can't really do any of that shit. So I'm like, how do you make a quick connect fucking engine harness that would go from one place to another? Volkswagen already did it with the fucking mil-spec connector. I just have to figure out how to make it make more sense in my application. So like trying to figure out how to do, how to have that creativity in that is so fucking difficult because I just want to get the car to run.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm like, all right, well, I'm cutting corners, I'm taking the harness and I'm extending the harness and I'm soldering bits and ends to make it fit.
And that's where, I feel like a lot of people fail because now you're changing the serviceability of that vehicle.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If you take the extra time and you build in those fail safes, if you're going down the road and something happens, you have one point of failure now.
I know.
You don't
Yeah.
have five.
Yeah,
I cut
five.
this wire here, I spliced it there.
It's
why I
all
that's why I
screwed up
wanted to do
together
that.
now.
Exactly. And so that was like my main point was like, I have access to, thankfully, the only good thing that came out of fucking Jeff Bezos or whatever is that the suppliers that exist now, I can get fucking cable or like TXL wiring for cheap. Like, so I ordered 16 to 22 gauge TXL cable or wiring downstairs, and I have I think almost over 1,000 feet of wiring for less than $200.
Wow.
Which is insane. So now I have the opportunity with all that wiring, instead of just using 3 feet, 4 feet a piece, to extend the harness, I could literally build the fuck I want. And like being able, like I know how the cabling or how the wiring harnesses work because the drawing sets and whatnot that I've seen from the Bentley manuals. But how do I make this my own? Like now, like I'm in this thing where like, all right, fine, I'm gonna extend the harness for now, but I'm marking all of the sensors on what kind of pins and harnesses they use or the ends they use, and then I'm building this note sheet where it's like, all right, this is the length that I'm running for this one. For like, not the knock sensor has to be shielded wire, but for like the injector harness, I have this pin that goes here. This is the length that goes from here to here. And then I can order, this particular pin harness and blah, blah, blah. And so now I'm like, all right, cool. Now I'm turning into a harness company because I'm pretty sure that's exactly what they do too. So it's like, I want to be able to make something cool and different to have that uniqueness. But boy, is it fucking hard.
Yeah,
It's so
and
difficult.
like I said, you have to think 10 steps ahead. The one thing that I've started doing over the last few years is now when I run wire, I flag everything.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
like, with like fiber in a data center, right?
Yeah.
I flag it. I put like a color code on it and what it is
Yeah.
on every one. And then I know that this specific wire color corresponds to this. Like, so I'm not going to have another one in the mix. And when it comes to roadside troubleshooting, it will save you a lot of time.
So I was gonna get a Brady label maker and make flags of. We do it is point. Top is the in and the out, so it's in and out. So we're gonna do cable labels for in and out, and then you don't have to make labeled actual cable because it's not 100 cables in a rack, but yeah, I want to do in and out, and then and build that out. It's just like I can take all of my AV experience in like on what we did for wiring for Cat 6 and fiber, and then put that into like my own point. Like if I could make what is it called? An ECU over IP and have like a fucking a Cisco 9300L just sitting in the dashboard and everything is Cat 6 based. It'd be the coolest shit I've ever done in my entire life.
So I just was going to make one comment on the whole wiring thing because when I was like, oh, you like doing wiring? Because I was like, wow, like who likes doing wiring? But my start in data centers was working in what we call the service delivery team or Smart Hands, and 90% of that job was wiring, was cabling. Was doing cable management, was like, obviously very big on labeling with your your Z. If you're extending it from like a carrier rack to a customer cage, you gotta interconnect a couple different points to drop it into like the white space.
Right.
The biggest reason, because like I loved doing that and I was very good at doing that. Yeah. The biggest reason I don't like doing it on cars is when you're doing it. Let's say if you're doing it in a rack or whatever, you have it's the whole rear or the whole front of the rack is open. You have all this space. I'm about as flexible as a piece of like a 2x4 piece of pine. And when you're talking about wiring in cars, you have to contort your body into the like weirdest, hardest, most unergonomical positions. Yeah. That ain't it for me, dude. Like, give me a big rack, give me a big 52U rack and say, make this thing look beautiful. I say, give me an afternoon, I'll do it. Dude. You say, hey, take these 5 cables and route them in a nice way that makes sense and that is aesthetically pleasing, even though it's going to be tucked up in, make it like nice and, but do it in this little crevice cockpit of a car. Absolutely not. Yeah. I will pass.
For the Mark II, I was like, well, we're going to redo all the wiring. Might as well pull out the seats so I can get everywhere. Mm-hmm. Well, I got to tuck the wiring around, so I might as well move the carpet. Well, I got to get behind the dashboard and relocate the fuse box and relocate the ECU, so I might as well pull the dash. Well, while we're in here, we might as well just dry ice the fucking thing and take all the sound deadening and put new sound deadening in there. And while we're in it, we should just fucking re-weld everything so it's strengthened and hardened.
Snowballs.
Dude, it's fucking,
that's exactly
it's a process,
how it is
dude.
on this side too.
Let's break into Dream Garage. Yeah. So I like Dream Garage. Okay. I think Dream Garage is tight. You wanna give him the lowdown?
So the lowdown is 10,000, 100,000, $1 million. It's no holds barred. It's going to be one car though. So when I say $1 million, I'm not saying you go out and you buy $1 million, $1,000 cars. It's $1 million car. Yeah. However, within your 10, 100, 1 million, if you buy a car for, say, your $5,000 budget, you buy a $5,000 car, you can take $5,000 and invest it back into the car, modify it, make it your own, personalize it, whatever. Yeah. I would also say this car would, 10,000, 100,000, 1 million, would also take into account what your current fleet of cars is and how that car kind of fits into, like for just using my example of my $10,000 car, really weird one, which was a Plymouth Breeze, a Chrysler Cirrus, or a Dodge Stratus. I don't have a race car. And I would love, $10,000, I would love to build a very no-frills budget race car. But that's comparing it to the fact that I already have kind of like a daily, I already have like a show car, whatever. So taking that into account of,
Current fleet.
your current fleet.
Yeah. And we'll take like the garage restriction away, right? Because it's like
Let's assume you have the space for it.
let's just assume you have the space for it.
I don't know. Like, I would say $10,000. I'd probably get back into a mini truck. Like, I miss those, those days. You can find a pretty decent truck for 10 grand or less. Like, I've seen, magazine trucks for sale for 10 grand.
That's insane.
And it's just because
it's not a
they're
market
dated.
for 'em.
There's not a market.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd probably get back into a mini truck. Like, I'd want something bodied and on the ground. $100,000. I think I'm kind of in the same mindset of you. Like, I need a tow rig. I'd love to have like an OBS dually on the ground. Not necessarily bag, but something I could pull with.
Yeah.
Something big Alcolas, but old. I'd want like an OBS mid-90s CK truck.
Oh shit. Hell yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of always been on the bucket list, but they're going up in value. I mean, you're buying them now for 40 or 50 grand and then building them out from there.
Yeah.
$1 million? I wouldn't say it's a specific car, but I'd have to have something built probably by the Roadster Shop team. Like, they build phenomenal cars.
Roadster Shop.
They're
Hit the Google. I would say
they build chassis, but they also like specialize in cars as well. But it would end up probably being if it had to be a car, I would say a 69 Firebird. That's kind of always been on my
fucking Camaro, dude.
yeah.
Look at
we'll go through some stuff after the
yo.
after we're done here. I'll show you some things they've built.
Nuts.
Okay.
But yeah, if I had them build something, it would probably be a Firebird. I love a 69 Firebird. You
Now,
don't see a ton of them.
With the Roadster Shop, with something like that, do you kind of give them the general vision, like color, and then you kind of just let them build like a boutique?
If I was
car?
building it, I would say like I'd want it to appear stock. They build cars.
I'm looking at their F body.
OEM Ultra Plus.
Well, they'll do they call it like a Survivor Series. So it's
Okay.
essentially like they take a car off a person, take the body off of it, new driveline, new chassis. It's got all the best of the best stuff, but the body still looks original. That's like their Survivor Series car. Then you tier up from there. But for me, it would be like a 69 Firebird, white with the Trans Am stripes, like kind of stock appearing, but a Nelson Racing, like twin turbo, streetable 1,000 horsepower car.
A wolf in sheep's clothing. So
100%.
Yeah.
Dude, their C1 Corvette, the C1 RS, that is insane. Look at this thing, dude.
They build some phenomenal stuff.
It's like concept. Sorry, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna put this on the get a screen going. But like they built it off of concept drawings, right? And so they have all of these concept drawings that they have gone out, and then you can see like the slow execution and progress of them actually building this out. Like, here's the frame, and here's dude, and then the car at the bottom.
Thing is beautiful.
Here's the fucking interior. Like that shit. That's like a modernized retro.
Yeah.
Corvette.
So they build chassis
like
for
hand-built
all
stuff.
of the
Flipped
biggest
pedals?
builders in the world. So like all of the, I'm sure you've seen the show Bitchin' Rides.
Oh, yeah,
They
of
build
course.
all the chassis for Ken Diggs' rides. But like the CF1s that they make, all of their chassis are underneath them. Like, they've gotten to a point where it's not just building, a frame or whatever. They're building high caliber cars to compete. So when I say we go to
This is
Good Guys,
engineering.
those are the kind of cars that you're parked next to.
Yeah.
Like, it's a different level.
Dude, look at the fucking they casted the fucking speedometer and built it out, cut it out. Here's the cast.
wow.
They built it out. Dude, that is a level. That is like OEM
Like, that's from scratch.
fucking engineering. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, but that's how they're using technology now to like scan these areas and make parts fit in them.
That's
That is
cool.
insane.
But yeah, like I would say I'd have them build me a car.
For your 10K car, like for your mini truck, if you were to, could you break down how like that 10K would work? Like, say I went on Marketplace just there here for a second, looking up a 2200 or Mazda 2200. I found a $9,000 fucking 2200 with the rotary in it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you can find them.
Yeah.
For me, I think the nostalgia would set back in, right? Like if I was 16-year-old me, how would I have built this?
Yeah.
And I had the money.
Yeah.
It would be. I know Josh hates bags, but it would be body dropped on air.
Yeah.
I don't hate
On
bags
the
on mini
ground.
trucks. I think for mini trucks they 100% belong because the whole dragging, like what is that? The metal they weld on the
Drag blocks.
Yeah.
Drag blocks.
What is that made out of?
They
Flint?
put magnesium.
Magnesium, all the
blocks.
sparks. I think bags are very application specific, and I think for mini trucks, I think they go hand in hand with a mini truck.
I think it has its function. I mean,
I'm gonna wait till he sees it.
People bagging a Miata. People bagging a Miata. There's people bagging out. I'm like, bro, you know, it's like the easiest car in the world to slam. Just put some coilovers on it.
True.
So, anyways,
Yeah.
but yeah, it would be something along those lines. I've always been a big Sonoma, GM mini truck guy.
Yeah.
And in that world, that's like the cookie cutter truck. Like everybody makes fun of those guys, but it's kind of where I cut my teeth. So it would be like an extended cab.
there's a nostalgia value.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would want the third door like welded shut, suicide the front doors, sit it on the ground. So there was a club back in the day called the Low Rollers, and they were a huge East Coast mini truck club. They're still around, but there was a specific truck that one of the members built. It was blue and silver two-tone with like a nice orange stripe. It's where I got the concept to do my first truck.
Yeah.
But it had big billets on it. It had all of those things. And in my mind, when I build that truck, it's that every time. And to see it come back up on some of those OG pages, it's like just a walk down memory lane. Because I remember going to, like when they had Nopi at MIR, that truck
Which is
was
back
there.
now, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And well, that's what was cool too. Like, so I would say I've kind of tied the import and mini truck scene together so many times because I would go to Nopi with Steve and I would take my S10.
Yeah.
And we would go but then he would bring his Focus and we would go to like Big Show or any of the drop jaw events they had. That was like the mini truck equivalent to Nopi back in the day. But so those lines crossed several times. I mean, I'm sure if you go back into any like East Coast Style magazine, they're still around. They're a publication now that's mostly online, but they do show coverage from like all around. And you'll look at any mini truck show they have, there's always a Civic with super crazy airbrushed, like suicide doors, like that early 2000s shit still there. And people are still building them. But that scene just never exploded beyond like mini trucks. But,
and then fucking Fast and Furious came out, then it was popping again, and then it was like by the third Fast and Furious, everybody forgot it because now they're like in fucking space. Or fourth or fifth one, they're in space.
Yeah, they got a little too
crazy.
Well, they got away from it being a car movie. Right. And it was just like an action movie.
Yeah.
It was like, because people, the audience, the demographic of people that just want to watch action, regardless of what it is, versus the demographic of people that specifically are there for the cars. Yeah. Obviously, the first is, the action, whatever, people are, it's a much larger demographic. And so it got away from the cars because they're, at the end of the day, it's the movie exists to make money. Yeah. So they got to make it, tailor fit to everybody and not just car people.
So what's your favorite car movie?
Oh, the original Fast and Furious.
Okay.
100%. Like, I don't even have to think about it. That's in my top 5 just movies at large is the original Fast and Furious.
Oh. Dude, I want to say it was Gone in 60 Seconds.
That's a very good one.
Yeah.
That's a very solid choice.
There was so many cool cars, and it was like, it is an action movie, you know what I mean? Like, but it just had so many different cool cars.
A great soundtrack.
Yeah.
Great soundtrack.
Yeah. Your 100K truck, like, I think it's a solid choice. I think I'm in the same boat. I think my 100K fucking option changed. I want a Fat Fabs fucking truck. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I just want
You're going to be hard pressed for $100,000.
Yeah. I think that's the frame.
You get a chassis.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, shit, if they give me a chassis, I'll take the body off of a fucking 07 Escalade and just slap it on there and do all the fabbing myself. Like the rest of the cutting and shit.
Probably buy one that's already been built.
Yeah, 100%. I think like I see a lot of being in that bag mini trucks Facebook group and seeing the shit that's on there. I'm like, dude, we could $80,000 would get us a fucking dually. Yeah, I know.
I lived in Southern California, so.
I know. It's
yeah.
in the list.
It's there.
If
It will happen.
if you were to get for your $1 million car, because I know like the concepts from now, I know what Roadster Shop does. You said a '68 Camaro, right?
It'd be a 69 Firebird.
A Firebird. So if you were to have them build you a Firebird, how would you have them do it? Or would you give them like full custom range?
I visualize it as like Josh said, like that. It's understated.
Yeah.
Like a factory white color with the like Trans Am blue stripes like they came with.
Sure.
Be like that, but just low. I'd probably have a set of oversized like factory wheels, but like forged. Like that's a big thing now in the like resto mod world is like a set of the like Keystones, which were like an aftermarket wheel back then, but like a 5-spoke, but stock appearing, just larger diameter, much wider.
It's exaggerated, basically. Yeah.
But super low,
Yeah.
of course, like high horsepower, because I've never really had a super fast car. Like I've always been able to make them look good.
Yeah.
For me, that's just been it. Like I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
But I'd want something that had some power to it. Like I said, it'd probably be a Nelson Racing, like twin turbo, one of their out of the box, like 1,000 horsepower street car.
I've never seen this shop before, and I'm so glad that every fucking podcast I'm taking something out of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm getting all this cool information.
Like I said, he lives in a you know, a world or a space car related that's, you know, I've been with Corey to a couple like random things here and there, but like there's so much about like muscle cars and hot rods and mini trucks that I know next to nothing about.
Right.
I know they exist, but like he could go and point out finite details on this car that I'd look at it and I'd be like, it's a red car. It's low, it's got some cool wheels. It's about all I got.
Yeah.
That's what I can tell you about. I can nerd out about things that like I'm, you know, weird, obscure, stupid shit.
Yeah.
But, you know, that's why I like getting different people on here with different kind of backgrounds and mindsets when it comes to cars, because ultimately I love learning about anything, and especially in the car world, I love learning about things that I'm previously blissfully unaware of. So
Yeah.
it was
and
very interesting to me.
like I'm trying to make a lot of like comparisons to what my current or what my car culture experience has been like, but also pairing it with like other people's experiences and how they're similar and how they differ, and then like taking the good things out of all of that, and then I don't know, maybe the end goal is that like if say I win the fucking lottery, you know what I mean, like I go buy a goddamn parking lot somewhere and I just make my own needs and shit like that, and like and it's heavily regulated and all that kinds of shit, and then I think that's probably what I do with my money. It's just like if I'm gonna do anything, I'm gonna do the thing that I want, like you know what I mean, and change make as much change as possible. So it's like it's cool to take it all in and see what the different aspects, perspectives, and avenues are, and like
For sure.
put it all into one place, and I don't know if I can make something, hopefully making something out of it.
Yeah, no, like I respect guys that can go out and buy a $500,000 Ferrari and drive it. That's cool.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
But when you bring it to a car show, like I'm gonna walk past it and go look at a rusty old car.
Yeah.
Like, that's just
I need to know what that person did in that rusty old car.
Right.
Too. Like, I'm gonna go pick his brain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it. But
I'm not gonna ask.
I'm right there with you.
I'm not gonna ask the dude with the fucking $1 million Maybach, like, so what'd you do? Sold your assets in Italy or some shit like that? Like, oh, fucking no.
yeah, I think it's
Cash on my Bitcoin.
Yeah.
it's hard to connect with somebody like that.
Right.
But I think that's where I see, some of these big shops when you go to like a national event, they're still putting their hands on the vehicle and building them, and they're in tune with what their customers or everybody else in the scene is doing. So they're easy to engage. Yeah. Like I can walk up to a guy that just built, a 7-figure car and be like, what kind of hood latch is that? Yeah. That's
right.
Yeah.
And he's not like, go away, dickhead.
Yeah. He's approachable.
I'm not going to tell you.
He's like-minded. So yeah.
But I've also been to shows, where I saw a car and I was like, man, that color is really nice. Let me ask that guy. And he doesn't know. He's like, oh, it's a custom color.
Yeah.
I'm not going to copy you, man.
Yeah.
I just want to know. Like, I'm interested. Like,
Yeah.
Like, open up a little bit. But you'll get it in every demographic of the car culture. But
Yeah.
In reality, like we all like the same things, right? All of our goals are to, you know, speak our creative art into the automotive world.
Yeah.
I've been fortunate enough to see like your side of it. I've, you know, gone to H2O like before it was like the party
What it
scene
is.
and seen it as a show for
Yeah.
Volkswagens.
Yep.
And, you know, that Volkswagen scene is very heavy and I like it. It's cool because it's authentic. You can tell the difference between authenticity at a car show and the folks that are there for the wrong reason.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Absolutely.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah, man. Well, I think this is a solid episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we covered a lot.
I think we land the plane where we're at. So I think we covered a lot. I don't think we covered enough. I think we covered a lot, but I don't think we covered enough. So we will probably ask you to do a round 2 sometime soon.
Sure.
Definitely
Anytime.
going to entertain return guests. I
Yeah.
think,
Oh, yeah.
Just because there's a lot of people. I mean, just about everybody I would love to have multiple podcasts with, just because we know a lot of, we're fortunate that we know a lot of very interesting, good people. So,
Yeah, like we can like example. Like I wanted to bring up more on the GTO, right? But and like the stories and like the struggles and so on and so forth and what you did in order to get there. I want to save that for the build bio.
Sure.
Oh, yeah,
And
yeah,
so-
sure.
And then I also want to film, like I usually do like a 5-minute like cinematic film piece on the car. And now that I've got much more gear, I feel like I'm hoping to make a more cinematic. I just need to do some more filming. But anyways,
Maybe you lower it at the lawn.
I can't believe
I'm
you're
bringing the
going.
car.
I can't believe you're going.
Hopefully it's done. Yeah,
Dude,
that's the
pumped.
push.
Yeah, that's
So-
gonna be a fucking fun
So
episode.
we could do something
it
like
is.
that there. That'd be cool.
Hell yeah. And other than that, I mean, I've got nothing else. Josh, you got anything to say, homies?
No.
Oh,
I
yeah.
just
Appreciate you guys for having me.
Yeah. Corey, you got anything to
appreciate-
say to the homies?
Appreciate you
I'm
coming.
good, man.
Dude.
I'm sorry if your viewer count went down because of me, but
No, hell
shut
no.
up.
Yeah,
dude.
yeah, yeah.
Like, this is
just glad to be a part of it, man.
Oh,
dude.
I do actually have 2 things.
Yeah.
I do have 2 things. One, sorry, Erica. Erica always, like we were talking about, she was like, you need to not wear bright clothing. You need to like not distract the viewers from the conversation. And Erica was at the barn this morning when I got dressed, so I Colt 45 hat and quite literally the brightest shirt that I own was probably. That's the first thing she's gonna, if she goes to watch, she's gonna be like,
God damn it.
who allowed you to dress like that for this podcast?
She's gonna start setting your clothes
Sorry,
out
Erica.
before you film.
And then I did want to give a shout out to our buddy Kiet, who
Yeah.
passed away, Keaton Wynn.
Yeah.
He passed away, about a week ago now?
So,
Yeah. Kiet, if you don't know who he was, I mean, Kiet, I see a piece of Kiet every day because he wrapped both my F-150 and my 3000 GT.
Yeah.
So I was, pretty close with him in that regard. I mean, his shop literally used to be like in my backyard. He was right next to Nova Speed shop.
Yeah.
So
That's how I know him.
yeah. So I mean, he did killer vinyl work. I mean, he tinted Erica's windows. He tinted a bunch of my coworkers' windows. Like, so a lot of people I know, knew him in some capacity or another. Lost him much too soon. He was 36. So just wanted to, make an acknowledgement of that and say that he'll be very missed. And we, I appreciate any time that I got to spend with him in any capacity, and that, gone too soon. It
He's
very much sucks.
He I think to add to that, Kiet worked so fucking hard.
Oh, he was a hustler. He grinded.
He worked so hard, and like we were supposed to do a shop shoot, with him, because remember when we met up with him at the bar, or at, what was it, Crossroads? Yeah. And so I told him, I was like, hey man, like, I kept sending him business, like, this is just like, it's like, you need tents or a wrap, or you need shit like air ride, like this dude's doing it. And he was busy all the time. He had work for months. And I remember like in the beginning part of his, shop adventures, he was like, dude, this fucking sucks. Like, I can't go hang out, I can't do shit. Like, I'm always busy. And so I think it's like, it's a huge loss. And
Oh, huge loss. Yeah.
I fear every fucking day for my homies. Like, it's part of the reason why I don't ride a motorcycle anymore. Well, you're part of the reason, so, because you won't let me. But
Voice of reason. Erica won't let me buy a motorcycle. She's
Dude.
like, yeah, no.
But that doesn't mean people can't
So-
go enjoy their shit. And I
Yeah.
hope that the fucking mentality of, people in regular traffic or NPCs changes, that they like when people say watch out for fucking riders, it's not it is literally not just a saying. It's like
Yeah.
a legitimate
It's
this was someone's fucking son.
Yeah.
This was someone's brother. This was someone's, relative, boyfriend, wife, husband, whatever. It could be anybody. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it's just pay attention to the fucking road.
Yep.
I don't know the story or status of what would happen with it, but my thoughts are with the family, and
Oh,
my
for
thoughts are
sure.
with the friends, and so I just
for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think the lesson is check on your homies,
Yeah.
regardless of what they're doing or going through. Check on them.
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, life is fleeting, man.
That's it.
shout out to Kiet, man.
Shout out to
Fucking-
Kiet.
Fucking sucks, but I think this was a solid episode. Corey, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me, man.
This was
Appreciate you guys.
outstanding. I learned a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think we always do.
Likewise. I know.
but-
Yeah, very much so.
And all the people that are listening or watching, feel free to throw in the comments, what your thoughts are on. Oh, do you want to talk about your car while we're ending this out?
Oh, we can. It's not anything particularly exciting. I'm excited by it because I haven't had like a newer vehicle in a long time. I haven't had anything with actual ground clearance in a long time. Obviously, my whole shtick is I like stuff that's weird, obscure,
Give me. Is it an SUV?
ish.
Okay, is it a crossover?
Ish.
Is it a Japanese or a Euro car?
Neither.
Swedish?
No.
Are you buying a Maverick?
No.
Are you?
You're close. You're warm. There's only
Not a
three-
Ford Flex?
No.
It was like the most obscure thing I could think of that you would
No,
probably.
I would argue that it's
Is it a Buick fucking wagon?
no.
Although that'd
Damn.
be sick.
That would have been sick.
I considered it, but I'm like, we already have a wagon,
Yeah.
and I want ground clearance. That's
Was it-
my
what
biggest
are they?
thing.
Yeah.
The rendezvous? What were they called? They
I
had,
think it was like the
They had the
Rendezvous.
older ones. Like
Yeah.
the-
Why has anybody built one of those?
Buick Rendezvous. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
it's not a Buick Rendezvous.
But it's a U.S. car.
No.
What? It's not Euro. It's not JDM.
It's not Japanese, but it's Asian.
You're buying a Hyundai?
Maybe.
Fuck. Are you buying a Hyundai? Shit.
Exactly. The fact you can't even think of what it's called is why I want one.
If it's a Santa Fe, I'm gonna be pissed.
It's not a Santa Fe.
Okay, because we talked about that car every single time we see them.
You're
makes me
warm.
wanna fucking
Oh, the new Santa Fe is they're like flat on the
one
back?
that looks like the fucking Minecraft character.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not a Santa Fe.
Okay, thank God. All right, so I don't hate you. Okay, cool. I'm out. I know.
Santa
nothing.
Cruz.
Really?
I love Santa Cruzes.
Hold on. What year?
24.
A 20.
So they started making them in 22. They didn't release the XRT.
He told me
trim.
on the way here, and I was like, okay. I know what Josh has done to cars. I'm just going to trust the process.
Trust the
I
process.
don't.
I want. So you remember
Hell
my,
is frozen
I
over.
miss my SX4. I miss having something with ground clearance that I
Yeah.
can kind of toss around. The SX4 was gutless. So the Santa Cruz comes in a couple different trims. The XRT is kind of like their rugged, almost like their TRD version of the Santa Cruz. They started making this. All right, full autism mode ready. So they started making them in 22. XRTs came out in 24. Then they did a facelift in 25. So the 25 and 26 XRTs look different than the 24s. I actually prefer the 24s
Okay.
because they Tesla'd out the dash in the 25. They gave it like the giant one big stupid screen. I test drove a 25 and I just couldn't get past the screen. I was like, I hate being inside of. I hate looking at this screen.
Yeah.
I also don't like the facelifted bumpers. They made them more angular. They added these like tow hooks and
Yeah.
they changed the grill. I by all accounts I prefer the 24. So it has to be a 24 XRT, which is for that body style and that trim is only 1 year.
Yeah.
And it has to be black because I'm immediately wrapping it. And here's where the whole plan comes into motion. So ever since the Santa Cruz, it's got me saying
I'm letting
Santa
you
Fe
know
now.
that the front end of this thing looks like a fucking Halo helmet.
I like Master Chief. Ironically, the 25 Santa Cruz XRT I drove was Master Chief green. I'll show you pictures of it on my phone. But anyways, it has to be black because I'm gonna wrap it. This is one of the immediate things when I sell the truck because I'm gonna put like 15 down.
Yeah.
When I end up selling the truck, I'm gonna put about half of that money into paying off the principal, and then I'm gonna take the other half and like do some fun stuff with it.
Fuck yeah.
when the Santa Cruz, God, now you got me wanting to say Santa Fe. When the Santa Cruz first came out, I look at it as like a modern day Subaru Baja.
Sure.
And I love Subaru Bajas.
Sure. 4-door Ute kind of thing.
Just they're the it's like if I got to design a car, I'm like, that's the dumb shit I would come up with is a Subaru Baja. But I acknowledge full well Subaru Bajas are way too old for like what I want for like a comfortable, quiet, practical, reliable daily. So when the Santa Cruz came out,
Fair.
the very first thing I thought of was like, that's like a modern day successor in a way to the Baja. Add to that the fact that you can get them in a 2.5 turbo, which what did the Baja have? The EJ25, a 2.5 turbo. It is literally, it's like, so anyways, long story short, I'm going to get an XRT, 24 XRT in black.
Uh-huh.
I found one at CarMax in Newark, Delaware.
Okay.
I paid the $99 to have CarMax ship it to the Dulles location.
Yeah.
Dan Savage works there. He's going to look it over, make sure everything is mechanically sound. It's only got 9,000 miles on it. He's going to make sure everything's mechanically sound, everything's good, no rust, whatever. Assuming it all checks out, I'll be buying it probably as early as next week.
Hell yeah.
What am I immediately doing to it? This is leaning into the whole Baja thing. I'm wrapping it Avery Dennison Gloss Dark Yellow. So it's going to be yellow. It's going to have, I'm doing, Circuit Performance makes a set of Mag Blue 6-spoke wheels that are direct, like, they're a little bit wider, a little bit lower offset than factory. I'm going to do like Yokohama Geolander all-terrains on it. I'm going to do, the XRT has factory bed rails, so I'm going to do crossbars.
Yeah.
Like
The lights on the top and
it's
shit.
going to be like a soft rotor where I am not lowering it, I'm not lifting it. I just want fucking factory suspension that rides comfortable because I haven't had that in like, even the SX4, I had a strut spacer lift, everything clunked and rode like shit.
Yeah.
I just want something that I can wrap. I can do some cool wheels and tires. I'm going to tint, like ceramic coat it. AM makes an intake for it. Maybe I'll eventually throw an intake on it.
Yeah.
I'm going to do, like I said, like some bed rails for the factory, or some crossbars for factory bed rails. Yeah. Like I just want a practical, clean, simple daily. I want something that can go over speed bumps without angling. I want something that when it snows, I can actually drive it. I want something that can make it up my dad's driveway when I drive 9 hours to visit him.
Yeah.
So yes, it's a very practical whatever, but it's also very on brand for me. It's very weird. It's very obscure. Yeah. By all accounts, the trim and everything I'm buying they only did for 1 year. the pre facelift XRT was only available for 1 year.
Like the only person I know that would know this detail.
And it doesn't have the stupid Tesla dash. The 24s don't have the stupid Tesla dash. And I'm gonna make it like I was looking at getting the license plate Baja-ish.
Yeah.
At like BAJA-ISH as my license plate.
Yeah.
I'm not. It's not gonna be like a full build like what a lot of people are used to, but I mean, I'm gonna do a color change. It's gonna have a lot of personality. Like it's gonna, when you see it, there's not gonna be another Santa Cruz that it's gonna look anything remotely like it.
That's fucking cool.
And yeah, dude, I'm pumped for it.
Dude, that's cool. You had lost me in the beginning for like a solid minute, and then I'm hearing what you're doing to it, and I'm like, all right, now I fuck with this.
And I'm gonna shout out to my sister because people are like, oh, Hyundais, like da 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 da. I'm like, dude, all right, check it out. My sister has had, her last 2 cars have been Hyundais. Yeah. My sister is like the very definition of stress testing a vehicle because I love my sister to pieces. She's a great human being. Yeah. Does not take care of her cars at all. And she had a Hyundai Accent that she just drove into the ground.
Right.
Car never failed her. Right. She's had a Hyundai Tucson now for, I don't know, 8 years or something, 7, 8 years. Yeah. It's perfectly fine. She's had no major mechanical issues. Like, you stay up with your basic maintenance. Like, I had reservations about Hyundai because I know Hyundai in the past was kind of a piece of shit. I'd like to think in the last, we'll call it 10 to 15 years, they've really stepped it up. Yeah. But I use my sister. She's kind of like my test subject here of like, if a Hyundai can survive in the hands of my sister, it can definitely survive in the hands of me, someone who actually cares about and takes pride in their vehicles. So I have no faith that, or I have I have all the faith that I'll get this and it'll be fine, reliability wise. And they have like 6 trillion mile warranties on them. So.
Fucking incredible, dude.
Just gonna trust the process.
Yeah,
buying a Hyundai.
Yeah, this is the wildest.
It wasn't on your 2026 bingo card, but here we go.
Kevin bought a fucking Tesla. You're buying
this is way cooler than a Tesla. This is a 2.5 turbo.
Is so left field.
There
bro.
are parallels.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's way more practical than like my truck.
Yeah.
I want something that I'm not getting cops waiting outside my house every morning.
Oh yeah, that's actually a true thing.
I want something that I don't, like I said, I don't have to worry about going down like a gravel road and like bottoming out the front of my truck.
Yeah.
I want something that when it snows, I can actually drive it, not have to borrow Erica's, borrow the TC that we keep out on the street.
Yeah.
I want something that is, I can hear my own thoughts when I'm driving. I want something that there's just it's like part of me just. Erica was like, so you're old. Just say you're old and you want something that...
Your AARP card is...
Yeah, it's like I turned 40 this year and I'm like, dude, I love my truck, but like I had 5 years with it, with the F-150. I'm like, it's no love lost if I sold it because like I got to experience everything I ever wanted with it.
Right.
I'm going to make the Baja... Now I'm calling it a Baja. I'm going to make the Santa Cruz really cool in its own way. Like it's going to have the Josh flavor and flair to it. Yeah. It's not gonna be slamming on its nuts, but hey, like when I get invited to our friend's house that they have a gravel driveway, I'm like, I can drive this time, not rely on Erica to drive. Yeah. So like our friends Cam and Mandy, we're going to their house on Sunday. They live off of like a private gravel road out in Oaksville. Yeah. I drove my truck there once, never again. It's crowned in the middle, and the whole way I was just pushing gravel the entire way. And I was like, I really would like to have a vehicle that could just make it down their driveway without making terrible noises. Mm-hmm. So
holy shit.
So as early as next week, I will have a Santa Cruz.
So if anybody got that right in the comments that he was going to buy a Santa Cruz early on in the episode, let me know. I will fucking send you guys a hand signed, Hot Wheels car of something obscure that Josh finds. And
I need a Santa Cruz
t-shirt.
Hot Wheel.
Yeah, we need a Santa Cruz Hot Wheel. Holy shit!
And have faith that I'll make it cool. Because when I bought the Crossfire, everybody was like, ugh.
Yeah, and then
then everybody loved it. And then I was like, I'm gonna sell it. And I'm gonna buy this like bloated pig of an automatic front wheel drive 3000 GT, and people were like, ugh. And now people love that car.
And Suzuki.
So it's like, in the Suzuki, everything I buy, people are just kind of like,
the fuck.
It's like the meme of like the girl going and then going, well, trust the process.
Trust the process.
I will make those exact faces.
Yeah. When I get it, you're gonna be like, ew. And then I'll be like, but look, I wrapped it wheels. You're gonna be like, well, that's kind of cool.
All right. Well, this was amazing. I've had my mind blown multiple times today, so I'm gonna go eat. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for tuning in for episode 4 of The District. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that kinds of good stuff and whatnot. And also give us a shout out. Let us know what you guys want to see. I think we had a poll last time to talk about what we were going to do next, and that is in the categories for the next one. But we do like hearing and reading comments. So thank you guys very much. Check us out online, Instagram, Facebook, whatever. Blah. I don't even think we were even on Facebook. But holler at your boys, Corey and Josh, online as well. Give some love, and we'll see you guys soon. Fuck yeah. Damn. That was fun. And now I'm hungry.